disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. Just, I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
Let's just kill a little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. Lomito! Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Well. Welcome everybody to Happy the Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. It's your good friend, Mr. BDA, and I'm glad. That's right, I'm glad that everybody could be on board for this one, fellas. In this episode, we've got a fantastic one for you. There's a lot going on in the boxing world, a lot of good news, a lot of rumors, a lot of he said, she said, a lot of movers and shakers moving about. So we're going to talk about all of that plus more. Before we get down to the fun, let's get the business out of the way, fellas. You know the drill. If you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you're certainly welcome to do so via the Super Chat feature. You can also donate via the Buy Me a Coffee app, link in the description below. You can join the Patreon for free. Or you can simply join the membership program. That way you get more bang for your buck. Special emojis, badges, the whole shebang. But the most important thing is that you continue to like, you subscribe, and you spread that BDA gospel. All right? Now, speaking of the gospel, shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm talking about King Bucho keeping an eye on things, Ralph Unreal, The One, More BDC, Two Matador, Hawker Mustang, Jaime Raiden, Aziz Gonzalo's in there, Skull Kid, and many more people to come. I'm sure, fellas. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Alrighty. Let me just call a couple of people here. Again, there's a lot to get to, and specifically the fights that took place this Saturday. We're going to go over that. Then we've got Top Rank joining the fray over at DAZN. We've got TKO, more news from Zuffa TKO. They're making moves as well. So there's a lot going on. There was a press conference they did with Top Rank announcing the fact that they're going to be joining DAZN. And let me tell you something. Nothing much of interest happened on the dais because they had Emiliano Vargas, they had Keyshawn Davis, Abdullah Mason, Shushu Carrington was there. And nothing much happened on the dais, but then afterwards, couple of words were spoken here and there from the fighters. So I see we've got King Bucho joining us here. We got Carl. That's the boxing kangaroo. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for joining us. Let's start real quick, briefly, because they weren't exactly the biggest fights out there, but we had Arnold Barboza on DAZN, the main event, taking on Ronald Sims, that's another dude, Kenneth Sims Jr., the Battle of the Juniors, because apparently Barboza's a junior too. And it was a pretty interesting fight. Barboza ended up winning by unanimous decision across 12 rounds. I got to tell you something about this fight real quick. Some people were saying that it was a boring fight. I see Frank here. Shout out to Frank Bay. I was actually talking with him. Shalom, man. I was actually talking with Frank on the Discord during the fight. He was one of the guys there. And, I was kidding around saying, because Frank said he wasn't a very good fight. And I was saying, you know shit about boxing, man. But I will say this, though. I understand why he would say that it was entertaining. I wasn't necessarily bored by it, but that's because I had such low expectations of this fight that I actually found it quite interesting. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be as boring as, say, the Jack Catterall bout, but I wasn't expecting fireworks, but I thought it was a good technical fight. You know, the fact that both guys went to the body, that's how low my expectations are. If somebody goes to the body or both guys go to the body, I'm happy. And so I was happy that both guys did try to dig down to the body. It was a good tactical affair. Barboza just happened to be too fast for Kenneth Sims, and that's interesting because Kenneth Sims is actually about 3 years younger than Barboza. This happened in the welterweight division. And so Barboza sort of rekindles the fire of his career a little bit here. But the thing is, like I said, he's 34 years old. So he's got to make something happen now. And I don't know how it's going to go there at welterweight. What did you guys think of the fight? And do you have any expectations what are your expectations, rather, for Arnold Barboza Jr.?
It was an okay fight. It wasn't, I mean, it was a bit boring. But then, Barboza, there were moments where he was stepping it up. I think he could have taken the guy out.
Really?
But yeah, I guess that's not his style. Yeah, the second part of the fight, he was really more dominating. What can I say? I mean, the future for this guy. I mean, people are talking about a Rocha fight. That's a good fight in my opinion, but he's a good boxer, but he's not elite at the very top. You know what I mean? We saw that against Teofimo Lopez. He basically didn't do anything. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. It wasn't an exciting fight.
Do you think he beats Rocha?
I don't know. I think it's a 50-50 fight.
You think that's... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I think I know Rocha fought Jojo, and I mean, who the fuck's Jojo at this point at 147? I mean, Jojo was good at 130, not 147. But Rocha is not a bad boxer, and I'm telling you, and Barboza, he's a good boxer, but he's not elite, and I think he's at the same level as Rocha.
At welterweight, maybe at. But listen, we might as well get to it now, though. Rocha was on the undercard, and he fought Jojo Diaz. And I mean, Jojo Diaz, people were kidding around that he was gonna. Okay, yeah, we can actually. We couldn't hear Carl. Carl, we couldn't hear you, but now I think if you unmute yourself, I think we'll be able to hear you. So.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, man. What's up?
Yeah.
Man?
Oh, beautiful. I just wanted to say, Jai Opetaya, welcome to the Gold Coast Convention Center.
We're going to get to Jai Opetaya because I checked that I found the picture you sent me there, Carl, of Glanton's in the aftermath of the fight. So I want to talk about that. The other thing is, Boxing with Frank Bay just sent me that Clarissa Shields apparently wrote a song for his, her slip. I mean, Freudian slip. Sorry. It's Freudian slip for her husband. And we'll see what happens. We're gonna give it a go later on. But in regards to Rocha, yeah, people were kidding around that Jojo Diaz is gonna end up at heavyweight. I mean, this dude, didn't he fight at featherweight at some point when he began his career? I remember he fought Jason Velez. Yeah, I remember he fought Jason Velez. I think that was the guy.
I'm surprised.
I think it was Jason Velez at some point that he fought, and he looked like $1,000,000 in there. He looked like he was gonna be a future, I gotta double check. Now I gotta double check because I'm Joseph Diaz. I'm gonna check his record because
he's small, man. For a welterweight, he's small now and a bit old, So
yeah, it's when he fought Jason Velez in 2016, April 23rd, 2016. It was the undercard of a big fight. I forget which one it was. And he defeated Jason Velez. He looked like $1,000,000 in there. He was moving around the guy. He looked, I'm not going to say he looked like Lomachenko, but a little bit like, giving the angles and all that. And that was at featherweight. Now he's fighting at welterweight. This guy ain't no Henry Armstrong. I mean, at least he was competitive. I'll say that. He was competitive against a much bigger guy in Rocha. But I mean, I don't know what's going on, man. He should have stayed at super featherweight. I don't know what he was doing at lightweight, and I don't know what he's doing at welterweight.
Drinking and partying.
I mean,
yeah, that's what it looks like. What's the deal with the decision and these guys celebrating?
That's a great one.
Yeah, what happened? Are they both from the same area or something, or what? Because they said from LA or something.
Well, it says here that Joseph Diaz is from South El Monte, California, and Alexis Rocha is from. They don't say over here. I know isn't Alexis Rocha Virgil Ortiz's cousin or something?
Yeah,
he's somebody's cousin, right?
Yeah, there was a boxer who was his cousin. Yeah. No?
Okay, so Alexis Rocha.
You said Ronnie Rios. Well, no, you said Alex Rocha, right?
Right.
Yeah, Ronnie Rios. I think he said his brother or cousin.
Well, Alexis Rocha here it says he's from Irvine, California, but he was born in Santa Ana, California. So who knows? He's Californian, like Frank. He's one of those.
That's the thing. That's why maybe.
He's Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood Frank Bay. That's what we're gonna start calling him. That's gonna be the new character.
That's a good one. You know what? Thank you.
But what was I gonna say? So yeah, Rocha didn't exactly impress, man. I mean, I know Jojo Diaz. He's a solid veteran. He's tough, but I was expecting Rocha to stop the guy. If Duarte could do
Mr. BDA.
Yes.
Rocha when was the last time Rocha stopped
with
anybody?
Blair the Flair. I mean.
Oh yeah, you're right. My goodness gracious!
I mean, it was a great fight.
Man.
I mean,
tough,
but he went life and death with Blair the Flair. So when I seen that, I kind of pumped the brakes on him.
Mm-hmm. No, you're absolutely right. Pump the brakes, man. Pump it up. Now, what else do we have here? All right, so that was it. So I think we can move on from. Yes.
Well, BDA, I really appreciate calling me a casual and not so many words. Barboza take.
Well, first of all, I said that I don't. No. See, that's the thing. I said I enjoyed it because I had low expectations of the bout, and I said I understand. I'm not going to sit here and lecture people. Why don't you find it entertaining? Because entertaining is not the word. Did you find it entertaining? It wasn't bad to look at, is what I'm saying. It was something to pass the time, but I'm not saying
it wasn't Shakur Stevenson, Darren Haney fighting, clinching and running and stuff like that. But
exactly.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Well,
I mean,
in order to explain my casualness.
Oh, come on.
No. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, Mr. BDA. It's just like I said with watching the Shakir Twitterson event. It's just I felt he could have did more. You guys said it, and it's frustrating watching this Barboza guy because I've seen him in plenty of fights where it's like, man, he has this extra gear, but he's content with pity patting and moving, and he doesn't have that killer instinct.
I agree. That's what Bucho said. Bucho said
is he afraid of is he afraid of getting tagged or something or what?
No, we explained before.
Here and there, but
he's I'm just gonna say it. I mean, it might be controversial. You guys, you can take what you want. He's a Mexican American, and he believes he wants to show he's not a flat-footed Mexican. Some of these guys this is my opinion, but I think it really gets to them like, nah, I'm gonna display my boxing ability, and he's kind of a cutie, and you'll hear Sergio Mora. He's like glazing it to the next moon, like, oh yeah, Barboza.
He was the same thing. Yeah, no power.
He wasn't landing punches. Sergio Mora literally made a quote. He was throwing. He wasn't landing, but he was having great punch selection. Some insane shit. Like, it was a great display of boxing.
Right. I mean, listen. I didn't think from a scale of 1 to 10. It was a 5 for me. It means it's acceptable. I'll watch it. I won't complain too much. But I understand why people don't like his style or don't find it that entertaining or interesting, rather. Because Bucho said, were you entertained? I was interested by the fight. It wasn't that boring to the point where I lost my attention span went somewhere else. But I understand, like you guys are saying. I think Frank brings up that excellent point. Like Barboza is a boxer puncher, and he wants to try to. If you ask him who are your favorite fighters, he will probably say Mayweather and Pernell Whitaker or something like that, right? Even though Pernell Whitaker could actually dig down and try at least, even though he liked the punching power to, hurt his opponents. And that's what people want to see, I guess, right, Frank? People at least try to hurt your opponent. Really try to load up on the right hand every once in a while or try a combination every once in a while.
They want to see you leave it all in the ring. I think that's what you when I used to watch football with one of my uncle who was a football coach, he was very critical. He would show me things on the field, right? He'd say, you see this guy, he could have got an extra yard or two, but he didn't want to get hit. He ran out of bounds. Or you see how he kind of goes down after the initial contact. And it's like coaches, trainers, people watch these things. And it's like, I see like, after he got hit, he really didn't want to engage. You can see these things in a boxing match. So when I watch Barboza, that's what I think.
Yeah, but what you said, Frank, about Barboza probably thinking, I don't want to be one of these flat-footed Mexicans. Basically, he wants to show his skills. That's interesting because it's possible. Because now this Mexican style is getting a negative connotation.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but just as you say that Diego Pacheco's getting cooked right now because he was on, I think, one of these Power 106. Are you familiar with those hip hop stations, BDA?
I can surmise what you're saying because I've seen some of them. Yeah,
very familiar.
I listen to it every morning. Yeah.
He just came out and said Mexicans have no skills. You don't see it like that. And so basically, he's saying that that slick style, the ass style is what he really prefers. And because he doesn't want to be the rock'em sock'em Mexican style.
I gotta find me some, if you have the time, find me those clips because it's interesting because you could tell from the way he fights that he's trying to be a slickster in there, a cutie as they used to say back in the day. But the problem is not the style. The problem is that he doesn't know how to box. I mean, he's looked horrible in 4 of his last 5 fights. I mean, I understand against that guy from the Crawford stable. I forget what was his name again. Cool Iceman or whatever, Stone Cold. Steve Nelson, right? That was his name. I understand you want to go the distance against that dude, fight him at long range because he can crack. But before that fight, he looked horrible against a southpaw dude. That was the fight where, remember when they interviewed Benavidez ringside and he sounded drunk? Sounded drunk. I mean, I'm not going to say he was drunk, but I'm just going to say he sounded drunk. Then he looks bad against, who else? Against the McCombie, as Foot likes to call him. And then he looks bad against that Proto and Billy. So I guess the problem is not Pacheco. I mean, the problem is not the style. The problem is Pacheco can't really seem to fight either in Mexican style or the cutie style, the ass style. He's horrible at it. So, Benavidez is a guy that fights in a Mexican style. And look what he does to people. So again, it's the Mexican style requires a high level of skill to pull off. That's why you don't see it often being done by a lot of people. So I don't know what Pacheco's on about. That's weird, man, that he would say that. We're going to have to dig those.
Because he's scared, man. He's been getting criticized for being boring, and now he's trying to justify his style by saying, well, no, that's just the way it is because I'm not fighting like a flat-footed Mexican. I'm trying to box people here. You know what I mean? It's about hitting and not get hit. And but the fact is, he's just a pussy, man. I'm sorry. That's what it is.
I mean, you know what? I would defend him if it was the first time this happened, that fight against the Billy archetype.
No, it's multiple.
But it's multiple, yeah, exactly. And it's a guys, that against that southpaw dude that he fought where Benavidez was ringside, that dude wasn't even that good either. It was just Pacheco was just afraid to engage. I mean, Caleb Plant engaged McCombie after getting hurt, mind you. He took it to McCombie and stopped him. Pacheco couldn't even come close to doing that. So, you want to blame a certain style, that's fine, but it seems like whether Pacheco tries to either style, it doesn't really work out. He looks like he's a good fighter or a good Mexican fighter when he's fighting guys that are past it, like Zulensky or what was the other guy? Gallegos. He stopped Gallegos, right? Who just recently, on Friday, he fought on Pro Box right after we went off the air. Gallegos took on I think it was undefeated, Najee Lopez, and it was a war. It was a war, and Najee Lopez took him out. So is Najee Lopez, as good as Pacheco or whatever? I don't know. So I'm surprised Pacheco would say that. Again, I have to confirm that he didn't say that. I'm not saying that Frank Bay is a liar, or a congenital liar.
Somebody said in the chat that he talked about that.
Well, there you go. We'll talk about that maybe next episode, or if we can dig it up during this one. Be that as it may, another fighter on that card, on Saturday's card, was Oscar Collazo, retaining his titles over in the strawweight division. A lot of people feel that he should be higher in the top 10 pound-for-pound list, and he disposed of Jesus Jaro, who tried to give it his all in there, but was just outgunned against the very good Collazo. Collazo's starting to remind me a little bit here of Ricardo Lopez, who pretty much just dominated that division, and at this point, I think he should just move up. He's talking about, I want to do big things. First of all, big things? There's nothing big about strawweight. That's number one. Number two, what the hell are you going to do with straw? I think he already beat everybody. He needs to move up. If he's that good, I think the onus.
I think they were talking about a unification fight with some Filipino, something.
Hopefully, it's not the Filipino guy.
I'm not an expert here. The strawweight. I think it's called minimum weight now, not strawweight.
Well, the notes I have here say strawweight, and it used to be strawweight. So his mama called it. The mama called it a strawweight division. I'm gonna call it a strawweight division. But we'll keep an eye on Collazo because it's very entertaining and possibly the best, and not only one of the best top 10 pound-for-pound guys, but possibly the best Puerto Rican fighter out there right now. I don't think there's any challenge to it. I mean, I don't think Zayas is better than this dude. When Zayas fought Perez, he was clinching he clinched his way to a 12-rounder. This dude is taking. I mean, this dude, Collazo, the other guy that who was fighting Jaro, he was moving a lot. trying to make it an ugly affair, and Collazo chased him down, cut the ring off, and stopped him, made him quit. So
What? Sorry, I'm at in the Ring magazine website here, and there's strawweight at 105, and
No,
I
an
didn't know there's a
atomweight.
new weight division,
I think it's like a bridger weight that nobody really counts it.
102, and there's no data.
That's insane. That is
Atom weight. That's like 3 pounds. I mean, might as well just move. What the hell? Okay.
Okay, so that. Oh, okay. By the way, this Barbosa started talking to Sims in the last round, which is something that I hate. You know, when you get the fight won and they start talking to the guy and they start. That's the other thing. I think this is why Frank Bay. I agree with him too. If he wants to criticize Barbosa for his lack of drive, you get the fight won. Try to finish it or something. No, he starts running, talking to the guy. I hate when people do that. Because first of all, there's no guarantees in boxing. We have seen fights where the guy clearly wins the fight and then he gets robbed either by a draw or by bad decision or loss. But so then he went over to Sims after the fight, and then Sims sort of like didn't want to have much to do with him. So then this clip surfaced. I think this was during the press conference. I don't know what's going on here. I'll let you guys decide.
Go behind the curtain. Okay, guess Here, I'm gonna close your mouth.
What's going on here, man? Where are they? Is it like a phone booth at the carnival where you get there with your girlfriend, you take photographs? What is that? Is it did they go into a bunk bed or something?
Who are these guys?
That's Barbosa and Sims.
After the fight?
After the fight.
Okay, I don't know. Like they're in a confession?
I don't know. The glory hole? I mean, what is that?
What the fuck?
Carl is like, what the fuck? Carl, what is that? Did you see this?
No, I didn't. Man.
And then
That's weird.
I saw this tweet and people were saying, yo, pause, blah, blah, blah. And then one guy goes, oh, y'all see a gay in everything. Well, I'm sorry. They're holding each other look at that. They're walking together. They're walking to a little fucking, like a glory hole in there. Like, what's going on? What is going on?
I don't know. I don't want to know. But
yeah, all right. That's enough of that. I mean, it's weirding me out, man. It weirded me out when I thought it was AI. I said, please tell me that's AI. I don't think it was. All right, listen. The other thing that happened, I forgot to write it in my notes here. Jazza Dickens loses his title, one of his titles, I don't know what title he had, against Anthony Kechechi over there in Ireland. You know, I always say, shout out to the Brits, because people say, oh, the Mexicans. If it wasn't for Mexican fans, the boxing, where would it be? Man, I think it's the British fans. They come up with fighters all the time, every other year, a new British fighter or UK fighter, whatever you want to call it. Well, for me, UK, I know the Irish people are going to get mad, but Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, Wales, England, Scotland, that is a hotbed of boxing. And these dudes, no matter the fight, they're always like their drink, first of all. So that adds a little bit of panache to it. They're always singing, they're jumping, they're getting into fights. I thought it was a lively crowd. I loved it. It was St. Paddy's Day. The Irish beat the Brits at the atmosphere.
You think so?
I don't think so. I know so.
Yeah, it looked shit-faced. It was a great atmosphere. It was a great card. A lot of these boxers that came to fight, and that's what we want to see. That's what I want to see.
Well, it wasn't the most entertaining fight there between Kechechi and Dickens.
No, that one. The other card.
Can I step in here? I think that card was fucking average. I mean, if I'm honest, that fight did fuck all for me. Maxie Hughes got fucking knocked out. I wasn't real impressed, man, and I just got to keep it down the line. I love the fuck out of the British fans, man. I think they put their hands in their pocket, mate, and they turn up for their fighters. Those motherfuckers can fill stadiums like no other country. I think the British fans are some of the best and most loyal, and you're dead right, BDA. Like that, every year it's a new fighter, man, new fighter, you know, and they're winning belts. Josh Kelly just got a belt. Who's the Dalton Smith?
Dalton Smith, yes.
Got a belt. Man, like every year we're getting new champions come out of there. You know, we've got a Tuma in the heavyweight division. You know, there's some good. We got Wardley. There's some good fighters in England, mate. And That card for me, I think was fucking ass.
Yeah, the main event wasn't that good, but I was.
No, the main event, I forgot. The main event was garbage.
Well, it wasn't garbage per se, but.
I mean, that's his style, I guess. I think he kind of slows down at the end because he's 37. But,
well,
there were stoppages. I like stoppages, so.
They're talking about.
The Maxi Hughes stoppage was a good one. That's a young fella that's going to make a bit of a name. I got no fucking idea what his name was, but he stopped Maxi Hughes. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me look it up. He'll start
to get a bit of a name. He could have been an electrician installing solar panels, like
that's right,
Stevenson's last.
Patrice O'Leary. Pierce O'Leary. I think that's another Irish. Yeah, I think it's another Irish dude. And
O'Leary, what a great name. That's about as Irish as they get.
But the thing is, though, I must say, yes, he's indeed from Ireland, although it doesn't say whether he's from the Republic of Ireland or... Well, if it says Irish, then that means, yeah, it's Republic of Ireland. But he's... How old is he? 26 years old?
Ireland.
There's only one Ireland, mate. Yeah. 19-0 with 11 knockouts, and he stopped Maxi Hughes. He looked good in doing so. However, it must be said that Hughes was a last-minute replacement. Well, I don't know if last minute. I don't know how last minute it was. But nevertheless, he did what he had to get against a late replacement, and especially a guy who's very experienced in there. The only other guy to beat Maxi Hughes, as far as I know, was Camarón Cepeda. So he's in good company here.
George Cambosis got a gift decision fighting Maxi Hughes.
That's right. Was it you who told me that allegedly Maxi Hughes doesn't pay trainers or whatever? Is that what you said?
George doesn't. Yeah. George Cambosis apparently owes a few people money.
Whoa.
Trainers, sparring partners, gyms. Yeah, apparently. That's the rumor.
Someone's gonna get him if he's not careful in Australia. You never know what can. I mean, he can.
Convention center.
I mean, he ends up in a swamp somewhere. The alligators have their way with him, and then they'll never find any remains. Mm-hmm. You gotta be careful. You gotta be very careful.
That's right.
I was gonna say, hold on a second. What's going on here? Yeah, so that was the card there in Ireland. That was a very good card in Ireland, mate. What else was
terrible accent, man?
I mean, hey, listen, nobody said that. I haven't worked on it yet. What else was I gonna say? Well, we're gonna get to the. Okay, so we got a whole lot of going here. The big story is top rank, going over with DAZN. That is correct. That is indeed what we had. There were rumors abound about how. Some people were saying it was the end of Top Rank. Top Rank, they don't have a TV deal. Well, now they do. Top Rank and DAZN confirmed multi-year broadcast deal. They had a press conference earlier today. They had Keyshawn Davis on the dais. They had Shushu Carrington, what's his name? Vargas. What's his first name? Emiliano Vargas. And they had Abdullah Mason on there as well. So the young up-and-comers for Top Rank. Yeah, and then on top of that, they also have Torres on the stable. They have Espinosa, El Divino. They have Navarrete. They have Teofimo Lopez. If he's still, I don't know how many fights he's got left in the contract.
Xander
Zayas. They have a whole bunch of guys.
Yeah. You know what, man? I'm so glad they got a network deal. I'm so glad, man, because the thing I don't want, mate, is less boxing. I'm glad we're going to get more boxing. I'm glad they've secured a deal. Top Ranks, they've got it in the back pocket now. Good on them. That's brilliant. I'm happy for them. I'm just so glad they're not on Tubi.
I saw, because people were afraid that we're going to end up on X video or something. But people are very happy that they finally found a home because people were saying, "Man, what's going to happen with Top Rank?" Now, Top Rank did manage to stay afloat in those last couple of months by farming out their fighters to other networks, and those guys ended up kicking ass, like Todd DeBeuf said. Now the de facto, well, not the de facto, but he's the guy that runs the company now, not necessarily Bob Arum. And a lot of us thought that he was running it into the ground, but now it turns out that there was some malarkey going on with the executives over at ESPN. Executives, by the way, must be said, now work for Zuffa TKO. So the people are wondering whether they sabotaged the ESPN tenure that Tom Prank had over there. So very interesting to happening here, fellas. I'm very excited about this. Now you got Matchroom, you got, what's the other one? Queensberry. I'm assuming maybe some of the guys from the Eastern Europe or whatever are going to be having their fighters there. The only one missing right now, or the only ones missing, is De La Hoya, Golden Boy Promotions. Even though they just had fighters this past weekend, they haven't really worked out an official deal. So who knows how that's going to work out. And of course, the PBC with their 4 or 5 cards per year over at Amazon. They're not getting any money, so go ahead and figure out what happens there. But one last thing that I must, well, not one last thing, but another thing I'll mention before I shut up is Todd DeBeuf was on the Ariel Helwani podcast. I'm very excited. Ariel Helwani. And he said that this deal with the DAZN is non-exclusive, meaning they probably will be holding fights and events on other networks. Is it possible the Stars deal is still on the table that they talked about months ago? Who knows? What do you guys think? What's going to happen with
maybe a Netflix fight?
Netflix,
a fight on Netflix at some point?
Netflix is very selective right now.
Fight. I heard that that Netflix would be interested in a Fury Joshua fight. Is that true? Did you see anything about that?
I heard that too, and I think that part of the reason that's happening is because boxing is moving away from the pay-per-view model due to the prolific rate of piracy that goes on with every pay-per-view event. So obviously, Netflix is the only platform that has enough expendable income to now pay these fighters $50 million, $100 million. What other platform is prepared to do that? Even if they could do it, would Paramount do that? Would Amazon do that? So Netflix is effectively the next Turkey al-Sheikh.
No, and you're right, and AJ already fought on Netflix when he fought Jake Paul, so he has a new fan base. Maybe more people know him now because of that fight. Fury's about to fight on Netflix, and he had that show. I think like what do you call it, reality show on Netflix.
Keeping up with the Fury.
Right, I never even watched one single episode, but yeah. So yeah, maybe it's a fight that's interesting for Netflix.
Well, as a marketing ploy, Netflix is actually the best out of any other platform that you could possibly imagine. Nobody watches Amazon Prime currently. Nobody watches terrestrial TV to
Paramount.
The extent of Netflix. Right, exactly, to the extent of Netflix. So that would be able to raise a boxer's profile, and that's what Tyson Fury wants. He was upset about the attention that Joshua and Jake Paul were getting. He was upset about the fact that nobody's talking about him, even though he's not the best boxer in the world. He will never be a bigger star than Anthony Joshua and Usyk, etc. So that lack of attention is driving him crazy, and that's why he feels the need, the deep-seated desire to interpose himself into matters that are not of his concern.
Who are you talking about? Sorry.
Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury.
Oh, Tyson Fury. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. He's jealous. He's jealous.
Well, he's got
absolutely.
He's always got a lot to say.
Green with envy. Green with envy.
Would you characterize his character as mendacious, Line Legal?
I think he's one of the most despicable individuals in the sport who shows that he's completely devoid of any rectitude. He's a figure of derision, rightfully so, and he's somebody who nobody in the sport should. By the way, nobody ever talks about the fact that he has been caught with performance-enhancing drugs before. Nobody talks about the fact he's been banned for that. Nobody ever talks about the fact that Wilder made allegations, but if you saw the pictures of that fight he had with Wilder, his gloves were contorted in a very odd fashion, an awkward fashion. Plus, this is a person who has been known for cheating. Nobody ever talks about that.
Is this going to all be released in the documentary?
Oh, wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. Going back to the Fury.
No,
yes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, going back to the Fury, because we were talking about the top rank thing, but I mean, we might as well get into this now. This was from TalkSport a couple of days ago. Tyson Fury's Anthony Joshua new fight deal agreed, but that's in like a semi-quotation mark or whatever you call it, as planned details emerge. So according to this article, Fury has to get past Makhmudov in a couple of weeks from now, and then Joshua would have a tune-up fight in the summer, and then both guys would get it on later on in the year. But guys, I still remember how they were supposed to fight in 2021 until for some reason, some arbitrator decided, no, it's got to be Wilder versus Fury 3. And so that fight never happened. And that was 5 years ago, damn near. So is this fight, are you guys already skeptical that, oh boy, here we go again with they need a tune-up first, and then we'll see what happens later on the year? Is this fight ever going to happen? And if it does happen, are you going to be interested in it? So that's 2 questions right there. Who's man enough to answer them?
Then I'll answer it. Fuck it, I don't give a fuck.
All right.
I think both of these fighters are way past it. I think AJ's chin is cooked. I think Andy Ruiz fractured him, and then Alexander Usyk absolutely destroyed him. And I don't think he'll ever be the same Anthony Joshua that he was before those fights. And Tyson Fury, mate, when Tyson Fury had the comeback with Wilder, I was all on this fat dude, dad bod, fucking let's go, get back in there. And then he just went on this mate fighting tour where he had trilogies with Chisora and fucking Dillian White. And I'm like, why aren't you fighting the fucking dudes that we want you to fight? Why are we? Like, he's like fighting opponents like fucking Tank Davis. So I jumped off that cunt real quick. I'm not interested in the fight. The fight's fucking 5 years too late. It's a shame, but I know the British fans will love it, mate.
Yeah.
The British fans will lap it up.
I mean, they watched Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. They're gonna watch this one. They're gonna watch this one.
Well, Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, mate. Let's be honest. Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, in the scheme of things, aren't fucking anything, are they?
That's true. That's true. Now
on champion level, but mate,
there's a story.
If I'm Tyson Fury, though, if I'm Tyson Fury, though, I'm very weary of Eddie Hearn, because remember, Chris Eubank Jr. accused Eddie Hearn of blocking the passageway for the ambulance after the first fight. That's what he said. Eddie Hearn looks to me like, is it possible he tries to be the nice guy? Like, oh, I'm so nice. I'm friends with my fighters and I'm heartbroken when they leave me. Meanwhile, do you think he might be the shrewdest guy out there? And I'm not saying he wants to physically harm people, but if I'm Tyson Fury, everybody thinks like Lion Legal said, oh, Tyson Fury, he's the miscreant, right? He's a ruffian. Watch out for him. What if it's Eddie Hearn? Is that possible?
He's a bad guy?
Be evil.
Yeah, isn't it in every movie the devil's like some slick talking, nice British guy?
Of course. Yeah, it's not it's not it's not some like an ugly person or somebody that looks like a bum or a vagrant. No, it's a well-dressed person, charismatic, gives you what you want early on. By the way, shout out to Rafael Garza for his contribution with the super chat. He says, King Bucho, hold on, where is it? How come it's not? Okay, King Butch, how often do you go to see the Clarissa in the buff? How often do you go to the net to see Clarissa in the buff? I went before the BDA show started. Is he talking about the pictures I'm always posting of Clarissa Shields in the nude? Is that what he's referring to?
I think so, man. Yeah. So all the time, man.
I think it's confusing you with me, Bucho. I'm the one that I got those saved. I feed them to AI to recreate more. I got a whole collection, and they're plastered all over my walls. The photos of Clarissa Shields showing her muff. Now, shout out to Rafael Garza for his contribution with the super chat. Shout out to Recognize too in the chat. Shout out to him. And by the way, shout out to, and I don't even know if this is real. I don't know if this is a real, we have to double check, I guess. Somebody donated via the PayPal. Shout out to him. It must be real because it says, I can't erase from my memory how De Los Santos schooled Shakur Stevenson. So it's a boxing related thing, but I just don't know if it's real. I'd have to access the PayPal thing. I didn't even know we had PayPal, Bucho. Do we have PayPal?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so it must be real. I'll double check, and then the next episode I'll say the name of the person. But you know who you are, so shout out to you with that message right there. And shout out to everybody out there who's just joined us here. We're talking about Fury versus Joshua, which might happen for 2026. For some reason, I don't see it happening. I don't know why. I get the feeling again. It's one of my sixth sense feelings that I don't know, gut feeling. I don't know if this fight ever happens. What else was we going to talk about here? All right, so we had that press conference there for the Top Rank thing, and Dan Rayfield then went on because again, this story had been broken yesterday or the day before yesterday by Keith Idec, and then they took it off. I think they took it off Ring Magazine because apparently there were some. Hold on a second. Yeah, okay. Anyway, they were saying that they had to take it off because there were some details that were wrong or something that they didn't really want to announce just quite yet. So this is according to Dan Rayfield. This came out here. He says, hold on a second, let me put it up here. He says, sources with knowledge of the deal said the number of shows in the report was incorrect and that the multi-year deal is worth more per event than Ring reported, because the Ring magazine said that it was going to be 10 events per year and that the site fee or whatever was going to be like 1.5 mil. So people were saying, well, 1.5 mil, what the fuck are they going to do with that? They're not going to be able to pay Keyshawn Davis and all these dudes. So then it says, one source made the point that many of the top-ranked title holders have 7-figure minimum purses in their contracts, which would make it impossible for the company to put on events for that small of a license fee, even with additional ticket and sponsorship revenue, considering all of the other expenses associated with the show, blah, blah, blah. But apparently that's not it. Apparently those details were wrong. Well, there's a guy on Twitter. He's more of an MMA guy. I think I've talked about him before. Front Row Brian, who's some people are saying he's a UFC shield, and again, I don't know that he's this dude too much, so I don't know if those are true. Maybe somebody with more experience can tell me. But Front Row Brian said this about that Rayfield tweet. He said, "This is what is called honest lying by Top Rank." I don't think so. I don't think IDEC Boxing was wrong. He says, "I think the fights on the zone will get about 1 to 1.25 million license fee plus production subsidy, but you can't eat a subsidy. For the events with high purses, those will be on the zone pay-per-view, which maybe brings in a few mil, which is materially more than 1.25 mil, but it's pay-per-view, completely different model. The Top Rank, the zone deal is a total nothing." This guy talks like Trump. It's a nothing. It's a big deal, nothing. No one wanted them. They begged and got a throwaway deal from a failed platform, the Zone. I don't know if necessarily the Zone is a failed platform, but it does make a certain amount of sense that are we going to get these big names like Keyshawn Davis and Abdullah I mean, even then, they're not really big names. But are those guys going to be on pay-per-view on the Zone? Or are we going to see them on Free the Zone?
Can I say this is where DAZN is going to try and get their monthly... They'll get their subscription out of you, but they'll also get the pay-per-view out of you. And this is what you're going to be fed. This is what you're going to be fed by paying this $50, $60 a month or whatever annual fee it is to get these X amount of pay-per-views. Mate, this is the reason I told DAZN to jam it up their ass. When Canelo and Bivol fought, that was the first time DAZN ever charged us $70 to watch a fight. After buying the monthly subscription, and their whole platform, their whole reasoning for buying their subscription was because they said they will never charge pay-per-view. And they went and did it.
That's right.
That's when they lost me.
Well, it's a lot of these companies that said that they would never. I mean, Bob Arum is the one who famously coined it. Why did he call the zone?
Dead Zone.
Dead Zone. Thank you, Sobers. Dead Zone.
LRB, right?
The Zone lost me when they went for that first price hike from $10 to $12. I was like, Papa, I'm out.
Oh. Come on, that's when they, that's when you were out, or were you out way before? Yeah, okay. But yeah, so
they ended up at $22 a month, and
yeah, they're raising the price now. It's pay-per-views, platinum package, ultimate package, and the thing is, though, Top Rank said that they call it Dead Zone. Then there was also Leonard Ellerby. They said, "Oh, we're never gonna go on an app. Who goes on an app?" Now you got events like this, Surdo versus versus Benavides. It's gonna be on Amazon and on the Zone. So all these people that said, that's the apps. I don't think they understood the power of the internet. They were still living in the satellite cable days. Like, that's where it's at. If you're in,
who's gonna watch a boxing fight on their phone? Remember that?
Yeah, people.
And you know what?
So
we're so oversaturated with pay-per-views and having to fork out money. Is it any reason like we couldn't afford to pay for all these pay-per-views, bro? Let's be honest. Like you'd have to be a fucking millionaire. And anyone who says they pay for them all is a fucking liar.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. No, yeah, and it's too much.
Well, man, if there's a mega fight, a Canelo Bud Crawford fight, I'm happy to pay for that. Happy to pay for it. But it's got to be a mega fight, man. It's got to be reserved for those big-time fights. Not this fucking shit they want to feed you every 4 weeks on DAZN, man. Mm-hmm. That's not all, or any of these cunts. I'm sorry, but that's not fucking pay-per-view worthy. And that's why piracy's where it's at.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, somebody had said that there was a study that showed that people would be willing to purchase something if it was moderately priced. These people, and that's why a lot of people cut the cord about 10, 11 years ago or more, because the prices for cable and satellite, they're overblown. They really are overblown. So, and it's even more so
but now on demand. That's the thing that killed it, on demand.
Yeah, that too. But
content.
Even then, I mean, the problem with boxing, and I've said this before numerous times, that boxing didn't lose attention from the mainstream media or the average sports fan because it was boring. You know, boxing didn't get any more. Well, I mean, it's gotten a little bit more boring now where people are pushing the ass style. But other than that, you still have entertaining fights, compelling fighters, compelling figures. The reason why it went away was because it went away on premium cable. People lost track of it. And now I got to wonder, well, apps are all well and good, but how many people are actually going to pay attention to it? Now, that's the other thing. It gets a little bit more complicated because apparently, according to statistics, it's the boomers and Generation X. Those are the guys, the Gen Xers, who are still watching and consuming cable TV or satellite TV. The millennials, the Zoomers, and the generation after the Zoomers, they're now all in on the internet and apps and all that. So maybe they know how to find things.
Let's be honest, man. There's not many Gen Xers out there that are still hardcores, man. There's not many.
You think so?
There's not many. I don't think so, man. I think I'm a bit of a dying. I'm nearly 50. I think I'm a bit of a dying breed in the sport, mate. I'm like a fossil. There's not many Gen Xers, bro. There's not. And all the millennials, whatever the fuck you want to call them, they're too smart for this shit, man, and they're not going to pay money. Half of these cunts don't even work.
That's true. That's true.
So, you know, it's oversaturated, man. They've totally killed the pay-per-view model. Totally killed it. And they've got no one to blame but themselves. No one to blame but themselves.
I just checked it out, by the way. The generation after Zoomers are Alpha. Generation Alpha. So it's coming full circle here. Alpha and Omega. What was I going to say? So yeah, you're right, Carl. I mean, it's most of these people don't pay anymore. And this is why if these guys were smart, because Shakur Stevenson, I remember, what's his name? Rick Glacier said, well, the reason why Shakur Stevenson gets pushed more is because he does better ratings. And I'm thinking, well, is it possible his ratings are overblown or conflated because they push him more? And therefore people watch more. But what's the peak average for his viewing? And by the way, he did, apparently in 2024, he did the best ratings out of ESPN. Yeah, but then you look at his own fans were walking out of the arena before the fight was even done. So he hasn't fought on ESPN since. I gotta wonder how are his ratings now? When he fought in against Paddy the Electrician over in Saudi Arabia, or when he fought on the undercard of Hamza Shiraz, how many pay-per-view buys did that do? Or how many pay-per-view buys did he do against Teofimo Lopez? You know, so everybody talks about the ratings. Yeah, people know who he is now because they're really pushing him. But how much of that is astroturfing? If these guys were smart, and again, I'm reading the archives of Ring Magazine. And I remember in 2003, mid-2000s, Top Rank was actually pushing a lot of the Hispanic market. And it seemed like they were doing well. But then for some reason, then Todd DeBeuf started taking over, and then all these other companies, the same thing. Oh, they all wanted the next Mayweather. We've talked about this before. I'm not going to get into it now, but if they were smart, they would actually start putting in, I'm not saying don't televise guys like Shakur Stevenson, but put him on the undercard. That's what one caller said after the Stevenson-Lopez fight. He said, look, it's undeniable the guy is a defensive wizard, very difficult to hit. But that doesn't mean he has to be a main event. Why does he have to be a main eventer? Put him on the undercard and put somebody a little bit more entertaining on the top of the bill. I mean, you think people, again, we've been through this with the Mayweather era. You bring your friends over to watch a fight or at home or at a bar or whatever, and then the main event comes finally at 11:45 p.m. Eastern time, and now you got to be bored through 12 rounds of hanky-panky there, playing tag like people say. I mean, nobody wants to watch that. Put an entertaining main event, like the Benavides Zurdo main event. People are going to be watching the undercard and saying, oh, and we still get the main event. People don't say that when you got a Mayweather, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney as the main event. People go, oh, is that going to be even good? Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? That's what the question that people ask themselves. So if Top Rank wants
Devin Haney wasn't even the main event on his last fight.
Yeah, but that's good.
He was the co-main, so that's a good spot for him.
Exactly, yeah. Right in the middle.
That's a good spot
when people, put him in the spot where statistically people go take a piss or buy a beer. You know what I mean? Or get a hot dog.
Or people are outside having a cigarette and talking about fucking some bird they were banging at a bar.
Exactly.
Because they're not going to want to sit in there. Mate, I don't care who you are. If you sit there and watch fucking 12 rounds of that, you are a boring cunt and all your stories suck.
That's very well said, man.
I just don't need 12. I just do not need to watch 12 rounds, mate. He's a 3-rounder. The guy fights, he's an amateur. He fights with an amateur style. I'm sorry, that's just what it is. It's not exciting, man. I can't stand the cunt. He's skilled, call him whatever, but he could do so much more, man. So much more.
Yeah, but
he's fucking boring.
But he doesn't want to. And like Frank said, like Frank showed us in that clip where Shakur Stevenson is saying, why would you try to go for the knockout in the last round if you got the fight won? You got to be stupid to do that. It's like, well, there you go. That's why you'll never be beloved by the fans. And Steve Kim was talking about Ivan Calderon, who was another Puerto Rican great, but he wasn't all that great to watch. And Steve Kim said that sometimes he would watch the first 3 rounds and then go do something else, smoke a cigar, whatever. Then he would go back to the arena in the 12th round. He said it looked like the 3 rounds that I saw. Nothing changed. So that's what I call an uneventful fight, where round after round it looks the same. There's no ebb and flow. There's no drama. Boxing fans and the average sports fan don't like that.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you. It used to be different because now boxing has way more competition. With the UFC, you have this bare knuckle. So it has more competition than it ever has in its existence. Floyd could get away with boring matches because what was really else going on at the time? Not a lot of competition.
Well,
you had one home, HBO, and then who else is going to compete with you for your average casual boxing fan?
And I've said this before, if Shakur Stevenson and all these other guys who fight in the ass style, if they want to have success, each fight has to be a big mega fight. They can't go in there against a guy who's a prohibitive underdog. That's why Mayweather, remember, when Mayweather would fight Robert Guerrero or even Victor Ortiz, or who was the other fight that he didn't do? Marcos Maidana. Even though they turned out to be big, tough fights, they didn't do all that well pay-per-view wise. Same thing with Manny Pacquiao. It's when guys become so dominant, at some point, the only fights that really have a lot of success is when people go in there going, ooh, this is a near 50-50 fight. Because again, there's no such thing really as 50-50 fights. They're very rare. But near 50-50 fights, most fans, or most of the time, will pack in the pay-per-view buys or the arena to watch that, because they want to see a good fight. Again, this whole thing of, well, Mayweather became a star because people wanted to see him lose. That makes no sense. And it's been proven too that people don't really pay. I want to pay to watch this guy lose. Like, what? So you thought you're thinking that people really thought Robert Guerrero was going to beat Floyd Mayweather? I mean, come on.
Exactly.
The other thing that I wanted to mention is, speaking of abrasive characters, after the Top Rank press conference, I think it was before or after, I don't know, Keyshawn Davis, who, he's talked about being in the home. He's talked about being on top of a garage and thinking about whether he should jump or not. He's talked about being crazier than Tank Davis. He actually went at Abdullah Mason, what was it, in the build-up to which fight was it? I think it was the Los Santos fight that never happened. He went after Abdullah Mason on the dais. And so now both guys were on the dais again. And after, again, I don't know if this was after or before the press conference, but check out what happened here. By the way, both guys, Abdullah Mason looks kind of chunky. I don't know if he's got baby fat on him, if that's just the way he looks, but check this out.
Come on, whenever. I want to fight you this year. Can we make it happen this year? Are we going to make it happen this year? I'm pulling teeth trying to get him to fight me. Do y'all see this shit? Hey, bro, look at you. You're bigger than me. What are you talking about? He's bigger than me. He talking about 35. I'm trying to go to 47 to fight Devin Haney. Somebody clearly bigger than me. I'm not even a world champ. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? I'm active world champ. Who cares? Casuals don't even know what world champ is.
I agree with Keyshawn Davis on that one. Who cares about the belt? I mean, if it's a fight that people want to see, or it's a good fight. But I will say though, he's talking about you're bigger than I am. I mean, I don't know. Abdullah Mason, he did look strong. He does look strong at 135, but he's still at 135. Keyshawn Davis looks like a middleweight.
He's big, man. Keyshawn is big. Keyshawn is a welterweight.
Keyshawn,
at least.
Did I call him Keyshawn too, by the way? Or I hope I didn't. I hope I didn't.
Just feel the brotherly love. So.
I gotta rewind. Hopefully, I didn't call
There's
that.
so many Davis. There's Tank Davis. There's Davis. There's always a Davis, man. So
you got to bring the brother into. You got to bring the brother into it.
All right, now, okay. So let's keep watching this because it goes for a little bit.
They know who you is. They know who I am. In the whole world. Yeah, boxers know that. Us fighters know that. This your belt. People that's paying to watch us fight don't know that. Because I'm at 40. You didn't fight that to get. You ain't take that from me. You see that? I practically gave you the belt. You didn't fight me to get that belt.
Yeah, Keyshawn Davis, like, you didn't take it from me. No, I can't. In his mind, no. You remember when they were talking about
it, basically?
Well, remember that the what's his name? The guy from PBC who looks like a peanut. Custer, Brian Custer, and he's like, when they took what he didn't say this, but that's what you guys were saying, that he was sort of saying when they took your title away from you, it's like this grave injustice, like they stabbed him in the back or something. No, man, the fucking guy went nuts.
They
blew
took
weight.
the belt away from you. Remember, they took the belt away from you. You got into some sort of confrontation.
When they raped the belt away from you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this dude is just, I don't know why he's picking on Abdullah Mason here. He's bullying him.
Why?
Because he that's what he does. He's a guy that used to spend...
Poor little Mason.
Poor little Mason.
Poor little Mason.
Mason in the jar. I mean, I don't like this.
Poor little Mason.
Poor little Abba Zabba.
Ah, come on.
I don't care. I don't care. Next one you get, I'm gonna come take your too. I don't want to pay for the bill. No, you never. Unless I move up.
These people out here don't make fights, Keyshawn.
They don't make the
So
fights.
look, check this out, media.
Go ahead.
You see this energy? Like you said, he's trying to punk out this younger guy. He's trying to intimidate someone who he knows is not ready for him.
Right.
You see all this energy?
Uh-huh.
But when there was a clip of Ryan Garcia in his face in the club talking like he wanted to fight him, Keyshawn Davis said he would never fight Ryan Garcia. He was acting all stupid. It was real low T, limp, thick energy. Yeah, he didn't even want to make eye contact with Ryan. And then when you see them squared up, they're the same size. So go figure.
That's it. You're touching on something there, Sobers. You're touching on something. Before we continue, it's an excellent point right there from Sobers. That's why he gets paid the big bucks. Shout out to, hold on a second.
I thought I'd pay y'all guys to be here.
Yeah, you should, huh? But real quick, before we continue, shout out to Virtuoso. Shout out to Virtuoso for his contribution to the super chat. So he's taking a little money away from Dissidents and giving it to us here. Shout out to Virtuoso, who says, remember when Leonard Smellerby and Aram called the app DAZN? Well, who the hell wants to go to Amadon to pay $80 for a slap? Okay, so did we get it wrong? So it wasn't Bob Arum, right, that called it DAZN then? But he did make, I remember he disparaged it.
No, I told you, Ellerby.
Okay,
Ellerby.
okay. Take it easy. But yeah, so shout out to Virtue.
No, because I don't think Bob Arum would ever say that. Like, he's not like...
I remember he disparaged the zone. He said nothing goes over there. He said...
Oh, okay.
But
no,
I don't know.
Comment about the dead zone. It was
somebody called it the dead zone, and it wasn't me.
It was Ellerby.
Where is Ellerby, anyways?
I don't know. I remember he blocked us. He blocked us on Twitter.
He blocked us. He blocked you because... Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. Because I posted a GIF of him like robbing Mayweather's chest in the corner.
Well, what happened was, hold on really quick. What happened? Well, shout out to Virtuoso. And yes, he says, yeah, it's ironic, isn't it, Virtuoso? Isn't it ironic that all these people were, dead zone, an app. Who's going to go on an app? And now look at them. They all end up in an app.
It's just a fight on their phone.
They really didn't see it coming. They thought that it was all going to be cable television and satellite television. Like if it was going to go on forever. People got to, they need some sort of don't they have some sort of expert to mitigate risks and all that? Like, all right, this is where the, trend setting and all that. This is where the trends are going. Somebody in marketing or something, right? Who should have been looked into this. But apparently they didn't see it coming. Very weird. But shout out to Virtuoso for that. And yeah, just to reference what Bucho was saying. So I remember, I don't know what happened, but Mayweather was going to have an exhibition match. I think it was against Nate. What was the guy's name? Paul, one of the Pauls, right? It was going to be an exhibition. Paul. And Bucho, who's mainly the guy who tweets on the BDA account, he said something about, who's going to watch this or blah, blah. He was criticizing that exhibition. And then Leonard Ellerby took that post, didn't even retweet it. Just, I think he screen capped or something. He goes, LOL, Mayweather always brings his haters out or something like that. And then Bucho posted the GIF. Bucho posted the GIF of, I think I have it here, man. Don't ask me why, but we always have it ready. Of Mayweather, Ellerby during the De La Hoya Mayweather fight, robbing Mayweather's chest. And look at that, biting his lip. Really going to town on those pecs.
Look at that face.
He's really enjoying it. And remember, people could say, you're looking too much into this. You're the guys that got, cock in your head or whatever. Remember, Floyd Mayweather Sr. said, hey, well, I don't want to repeat it because, again, we got no problem against people of that, who play for that team. But Floyd Mayweather Sr. accused Leonard Ellerby of, indeed, being on the pink team. And don't forget that when, what's his name? Jay Prince allegedly sent goons over to Mayweather's gym because they were having trouble, a little bit of a rift there about Mayweather no longer wanting to be with under the auspices of Jay Prince. Jay Prince allegedly sent a couple of goons. Mayweather apparently hid in the bathroom or something, so somebody had to take a beating, and apparently Leonard Ellerby said, I'll do it. I'll take the beating. And apparently he took something more, you know, something inside, if you know what I mean. And he didn't fight back all that much, apparently. He didn't resist. Took it all in, if you know what I mean. That's what they say. I don't know if it's true or not. Who am I to... These are the rumors there, so... What else was I going to say? All right, so yeah, so we got here Keyshawn, shout out to Virtuoso, and we got Keyshawn Davis here going at Abdullah Mason. But hold on, I want to go back to what Sober said. So Sober's very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Prescient or very astute observation that you made. So Keyshawn Davis has a lot to say to Abdullah Mason, Lil Abdullah Mason. Look at him. Look at that. He looks like the guy who you put some glasses on him. He looks like more of a nerd than Keyshawn Davis does. And Keyshawn Davis is the one who's wearing the glasses. So Sobers, you're saying that Keyshawn Davis, who also, by the way, keeps saying, I ain't never gonna fight Shakur. He my brother. Why does he have this energy for Mason but doesn't have it for Garcia or for his brother Shakur? Very, very telling. Very telling indeed.
Suspicious. Because at least when it definitely comes to Ryan Garcia, you know, he probably understands this dude could knock me out. So even though I might be a better boxer, in his mind, he might think he's a better boxer. But, you know, what's that word? Killers recognize other killers. You know, that's why when people say Ryan Garcia is a clown, I'm like, yeah, until he punches you in your face.
Oh. That's a very astute observation right
there. You realize he's not a clown anymore.
Yeah, man, because I mean, like, we got to watch the clip if we can find it, but that Sober said that when he's in front of Ryan Garcia, all of a sudden the energy changes. Very weird. Shout out to Recognize for jumping in, by the way. Let's finish this clip here. Let's see if there's anything else going on.
They don't make fights, Keyshawn. They don't make the fights. These people don't make fights.
Why there's always got to be a cheerleader with these fighters.
Somebody shouting. Yeah.
Somebody shouting, somebody starting trouble, yeah. Surprised a fist fight didn't break out.
Unless I move up. These people out here don't make fights, Keyshawn. They don't make the fights. These people don't make fights. The manager makes. You act like Bill Haney, nigga. When I knock your son out, y'all gonna be crying. When I knock your son out, for all the punches he take, I'm gonna knock. Okay.
Why is he so aggressive, man?
Is he calling his sponsor, by the way?
Is he always like that?
Yeah, he's always like that.
First of all, really?
Imagine, would you imagine he's got the phone? It's not even activated or anything like this. He's got no phone account. It's fucking insane.
It's fucking insane.
I like, you know.
It's not even on.
Like fighting style. I definitely like Keyshawn's fighting style, and I probably would pick him to beat Abdullah Mason. But he's gonna keep on doing that, and he's gonna give a guy like Abdullah Mason, you know, bulletin board material. And who knows? He could bring his best performance and outwork a guy like Keyshawn. So you better be careful with that shit.
No, facts.
Yeah.
Recognize. It's be encouraging dudes to applaud on you.
Yeah.
Now, Bucho said, is he always acting this way? Yes, he acted that way against Los Santos. He acted that way against Baranchyk, more so against Baranchyk than against the Los Santos. And there was another, who was it against too?
Yeah, but those guys he was gonna fight,
right?
And I'm not saying that's acceptable, you know. But like, okay, once you're in, you're gonna fight a guy, then yeah, okay, maybe he's trying to get into their heads, whatever. But he's just challenging this guy Mason. They're not about to fight. So why is he acting like this? I don't know.
Do you think
he's trying to make a fight? He's trying to make a fight.
Right.
But why not fight somebody his size though? I don't get it.
Yeah, he's supposed to. He was gonna move up to
Well, he's
welterweight.
trying to get the Devin Haney fight, right? He's still trying to get the Devin Haney fight.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? He better be careful with that fight, bro. Better be real careful.
What do you mean?
I agree.
What?
Devin Haney could. Oh, look, Keyshawn is more entertaining to watch. I think he's overall better than Devin Haney, and to me, that's not saying that much. But when I say better, I mean he's in terms of boxing, he's better to watch. But that doesn't mean he's going to beat Devin Haney. That doesn't mean he'll beat him. There's a reason why Shakur and his team want, you know, Keyshawn to call him out, and they're not calling him out, you know?
Well, I'll say this, man. If he fights...
They're coordinating.
Yeah, they're kind of like they're using Keyshawn as a crash out. He's a crash out, bro. He could win. No, I'm not saying he can't. He could win that fight, but he could also lose. Devin Haney got a lot more
Didn't
experience.
someone call this out?
Teofimo Lopez, right?
Yeah, Teofimo called this out saying, "Oh, these guys are working stupid. They're gonna jump in between weight classes and never fight each other." Like his coordinator.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's
You
called.
get him, I'll get him. A bit ugly for me.
We lost Sober there.
All it takes is Devin Haney. All it takes is Devin Haney to call out Keyshawn's bluff and say, "Okay, let's fight next."
Yeah.
You think it's a bluff, man? You guys think it's a bluff?
It's something.
It could
Yeah,
be, but
100%.
Bluff and fluff.
100%.
Bluff and
No,
fluff.
well, he's going after Mason, so maybe you're right, right? He's going after Mason, so.
Yeah, why not make?
I mean, why doesn't he show up to Devin Haney's gym or something?
Well, he did. Yeah, I mean, he did go at it with Bill Haney, and that's what I was going to say. That fight would be interesting because we know Bill Haney is a street guy. When I say high level street guy, I'm not saying that he had a lot of power, but he's smarter than the average street guy. So he knows how to manipulate them. That's why you say him whenever he debates people. Some of these dudes, they don't know how to debate, so he controls the narrative.
He got that chain gang knowledge.
He's a what? He's a what?
Just don't ever call it a crack dealer at Coach Malakin.
He's got that chain gang knowledge.
Yeah. What'd you say, Carl?
Just don't ever call Bill Haney a crack dealer over at Coach Malakin.
Oh, of course, yeah. Then you're gonna be part of the KKK.
What happened?
Talking about Roach Malachi?
Remember he came over here and tried debating and then he fucked off?
Yeah. I think that's
LT got him over here and I jumped on the panel with him and the fuckhead, as soon as I jumped on and said 2 words, he fucking bounced.
I think that's what started the trouble here. I think that's why he doesn't like us anymore. But anyway, the point is that what was I going to say? So Bill Haney, he's that type
like those
of
Mexican Australians, they're so racist.
But Bill Haney, I want to see Bill Haney. Long story short, I want to see Bill Haney versus Jay Prince. What would happen there?
Oh, that'll be nice. Well, look, I think
it'll be like Bloods versus Crips.
Mm-hmm.
I think a guy like Jay Prince is kind of like overrated when it comes to that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's getting older, but definitely, Bill Haney is just a talker, right? He talks a lot, so it would be interesting in that sense. I don't think Bill Haney would be afraid of him.
Jay Prince is probably like old Suge Knight. You know what I'm saying? Suge Knight had his reputation of holding dudes over the balcony, and I'm gonna go send my boys over there if we don't take this low ass contract. But now he's old and washed up. He got knocked out by a barber half his size in one punch, and he lost all his aura. He lost all his aura.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know what I mean? And that's with Jay Prince, right? The last thing that was around Jay Prince's name, that was like, I guess you could say some hood shit. Whatever is when they killed that dude, the Migo, right? And I think that was like his son's people or some shit. And that happened right next to Shakur Stevenson. And that's like that type of shit that happens around him and his people that I guess have people afraid and shit. But I mean, it's a new era. There's a bunch of new young crash outs out there that don't respect old heads. You know what I mean? Like I said, Suge Knight don't give a fuck about him no more. Don't knock his ass off.
It's a good point you brought that up. Because the way I understand that guy getting killed, the kid from Amigos, it's kind of like unexplained, right? It's like, dude, I didn't send nobody to, I didn't send nobody to do that to him. It just happened, right? Like that's
that shit,
right? It's a big difference than your boy was talking shit and I took care of that, right? That's totally different. It was kind of like in the moment, we all kind of understand. Shit got a little too crazy. It could have been the other way around. In other words, right? It could have been the other way.
Exact same situation that ended up with Crawford with a bullet in his head. They're playing dice. Somebody lost. They don't want to pay.
I shot him. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So, but my point is this: like, I think that Keyshawn Davis is to me personally, he's entertaining to watch. I like his boxing style, but it's also made. The way he fights is coming from a guy who's still unexperienced, and I still think that they're using him, Shakur, to go after Devin Haney. If Shakur, look, I don't want to see that fight, but if Shakur was calling out Devin Haney, that fight will happen. That fight will happen.
And I will also say that I think that Keyshawn Davis is somebody who is likely to be a big star in boxing because of the way that he fights. He fights in a way that fans want to see. Shakur Stevenson does not, and that's going to detract from him being a big star. Nobody wants to. I mean, if you look at his knockout record and ratio, it's probably a 25% knockout ratio or something woeful. Woeful is that. And I have sat through a number of his fights. In the middle of the fight, I turn it off. I'm not interested because it's just predictable. It's just too boring.
It's boring. It's boring. Yeah,
Like he doesn't have any knockout power. The result of the fight is a foregone conclusion. Let me tell you the secret to making a good boxing match, a good UFC match, a good match in combat sports, period.
Go ahead.
There has to be a likelihood that even your favorite fighter, the person you're supporting, could lose. And you want people that are seemingly evenly matched. That is what makes a huge fight. If
I agree.
You have a boxer facing somebody who is not even on their level at all, that is not considered something that's going to be exciting. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to, and that is another thing which British promoters do all of the time. They try to match their fighters with the easiest opponents. By the time that they find themselves in a competitive fight, they lose. Look at Moses Itama. Why is he facing James Franklin? Why is he facing him? In fact, I'm not even sure if James is his.
I'll tell you why. Did you hear what Frank Warren said at the start of the year, bro? Frank Warren said Moses Ituma's not ready. He said he still needs 2 years. That came out of Frank Warren's mouth, not out of Ituma's mouth. That came out of Frank Warren's mouth. That we're not going to rush him into anything because he's still young. He's still got 2 years. That's come out of Frank Warren's mouth, man.
And something I disagree with Frank Warren in this sense. The heavyweight division is a different ball game. A lot of these dudes, Otama, if I'm understanding correctly, he's like 21 years old, right?
Yep.
Okay, but he's got man strength, right? He's a big guy, 6'3", 6'4".
Already has CTE.
Yeah, he's got.
I mean, Tyson did it, so why not?
Right, that's what I'm saying. You got to. The way he knocked out, what was it, Dillian White?
Yeah,
and Dillian White
one round.
He come in. He looked like he didn't really come in there to win. But anyway, whatever. He got him out of there. You got to kind of like strike while the iron is hot, sort of saying, right? Like you got to do that now. And a lot of the guys at the top of the heavyweight division, they're old. So beat them now. Beat them right now. Those guys are older. With the exception of Usyk, I get that. But a lot of these other guys, I could see where he can probably beat them. Where if new crop of competition starts coming up, you don't know if Otama could beat those guys.
Exactly.
You don't know that.
Do this. And they've done it with every single heavyweight boxer from England. They did it with Frank, what's his name? Bruno. They did
Frank
it with Anthony Joshua. They've done it with every boxer that comes out of that country. And then by the time that they step up in level of competition, they're shocked at the fact that they can't, they can't win titles. And they're surprised. Bruno had a chance to be the best, etc., to be at the level of these other champions. But another thing that they should do is ensure that they spar people across the world. England is a great place for boxing events because the crowds are incredibly supportive, but even the sparring and the level of competition that you get is not the same.
Yeah, you gotta travel.
Hey, and another thing that I actually heard, I'm not sure if it's true, but I heard it from a British guy that knew some people that were sparring some heavyweights. He's mates with Pat Brown. He knows a couple of these heavyweight dudes that sparring, and he was saying that Anthony Joshua doesn't even do full contact sparring anymore, bro, because he's just that skinny. Does not do full contact sparring with anyone, unless the other dude isn't allowed to let his hands go. He's just a walking punching bag. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, that's bizarre, man. I don't know if it's part of because I know Gypsy's brought this up before. He called it the humiliation ritual. No, what do you call it? The sacrifice ritual or something? That AJ, I think he says that AJ went up against Jake Paul and broke the covenant that they supposedly had a deal that, hey, you don't knock me out. Supposedly AJ broke that deal, and so then Paul, who apparently wields all this power.
He had to pay the price. That makes a lot of sense.
He had to pay the iron price.
I was telling you, AJ was doing everything to not knock him out.
That's not what I said.
Jake Paul is so soft. He's just so soft.
I agree,
I agree
100%. You know what? AJ forgot he had a right hand until the fucking 5th or 6th round.
I opened up a can of worms there. That's not what I said, bro. I said that.
Oh, okay, my bad.
He went there to do a job for like 70 million or more. I think
Fly me to the moon. Fly me to the moon.
Sorry about that.
I was at the moon. Anyways,
no, it's whatever.
Yeah. So the thing is, they paid him 70 million to be okay with for Jake to be okay is more like it's because Jake I think got paid more than him as well. To get KO'd by him and then the sacrifice and all that kind of stuff because Jake is you saw with him and Donald Trump, right? He's part of the
Oh, never way off. That's idiot talk.
No.
Okay. All right.
He went there. Now he sold himself, but he didn't sell himself. He sold his brothers to KO Jake, and Jake was okay about getting KO'd. Like, Jake knew he had no chance over there with that guy. That's what it is. But when humiliation ritual was more what Tyson Fury did with Francis Ngannou. That was a humiliation ritual. That's a humiliation ritual.
Be that as it may, because we started talking about Aitama and then so whatever. I mean, look, listen, we got that by the way, Gypsy, because we were talking earlier before you got here about Joshua versus Fury. Apparently, they're both gonna have their tune-ups, and then the plan is for them to fight later on in the year. But I mean, I'm very skeptical that that's gonna happen. All these well-laid plans in boxing, they tend to go awry, especially when it involves Fury and Joshua. It seems like that fight is destined not to happen. So. We'll see what happens.
Until people are saying that it's what was it?
Past its expiration.
They're past their prime.
Yeah,
exactly. Nobody's interested.
Fury might be past his prime, but AJ is way past his prime.
AJ's done, man. AJ is done like a dinner. Fury's gonna absolutely knock him out.
He's the definition of food right now. That's recognized.
What do you guys think about AJ training with Usyk now and his camp and all of that?
Has Usyk given him a fucking chin transplant?
Yeah, that's the issue, man. I mean, the chin. I mean, even Jake Paul at the 5th round, even though Anthony Joshua was beating his ass, Jake landed one good right hand, and I saw some shaking with the legs.
Come on, get out of here.
I never.
You know what?
But
oh my god. Yo, you're just fool. At this point, I'm not taking anything you say.
Yeah, one thing. Well, two things I think you need to survive in the heavyweight division is you need that one-punch knockout power, and you got to have a chin, man. And for me, that's why I've always been questionable on Justice Ernie. I don't think he's got power, and we worked out he doesn't have a chin.
Right.
I thought he was chinny. And
man, Huni, I don't know about chin. What I saw, I've seen only one fight with Huni, so I can't really say that. But Huni was pretty solid, man. From what I saw, he just made one mistake, and
he doesn't have a chin. But trust me, I've followed Justice Ernie for a long time, man, and he doesn't have a chin, bro, and he doesn't have that knockout, that one-punch knockout power.
Maybe
he doesn't. He doesn't have that, man. He can. You know what he can do, man? He can box and move like a slick motherfucker. That's what he can do. But when he gets caught, man, he just hits the deck. He just fucking, these legs just disappear. They just turn to jelly. And he's more.
He walked into the shot, though. He walked into that.
Yeah, and I've seen him buckle plenty of times, man, with lesser men, with like Australian level heavyweights, bro. He's unfortunately, he's got a great style, but yeah, the Justice Ernie's just not on that world level, man. And that's why I think the likes of guys like Wardley. Wardley hasn't been fucking Wardley. I just keep getting it wrong with Wardley, man. Every fucking time. He just keeps proving me wrong.
Do you think his luck is gonna run out at some point? Because he's getting outboxed and yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what, Dubois, mate, Dubois. I think him and Dubois is a great fight, man. Because we've seen Dubois can get fucking put to sleep. He loves taking a knee. He loves putting one knee down.
I'm actually very excited
but he's dangerous. I mean, at some point, he can be dangerous too, right in there, and
but he loves those
box.
knees, man. He's always on his
I know.
knees.
Mentally, he's not. He cracks.
He's a midget,
bro.
He's a midget.
Yeah,
He's a mental midget. He's a mental midget. And man, Wardley just ain't that type of dude, man. Wardley's like, I got nothing but respect for Wardley, man, and I got Wardley beating fucking Dubois.
Oh, well, we'll see
I
what
think
happens.
Dubois ducked that Joseph Parker smoke.
I'm super excited by that fight. By the way, I'm more excited by that fight than any fight that's coming up.
I totally agree, man. There's so many more intangibles in that fight than fucking anything else we're getting.
Hey, speaking of
So many more.
Speaking of Daniel Dubois, and nowadays you gotta have millisecond to find out, wait, is this AI or? And I thought for a millisecond, I thought that this was real. You know, the Oscars just took place last weekend, and somebody said Daniel Dubois arrives at the Oscars, and they put this photo. And I thought for a millisecond, I thought is that real? Because he's a big star now. He beat Josh or whatever a little bit. So I said maybe they did invite him, but obviously it's fake. But why would he show up? Why would he show up? First of all, why would they invite him to the Oscars? And why would Daniel Dubois?
Is that a blouse? What is that? A blouse?
Yeah, that's. I don't know why. That's what people wear nowadays. The young.
My wife's got a couple of those.
That's what they wear nowadays. That's what these guys wear nowadays to the.
See, this is weird. This is why this era, man.
Yoga pants. They're yoga pants.
Fucking millennials are weirdos.
No, you're right. And they call it yogi pants, I think. And then you've got. I think it's what he wore.
That's my style, bro. Don't knock on it.
I think it's what he wore to the party before the. Remember before the Usyk rematch when he was at the party. It was a gathering. That's what his trainer said. It wasn't a party. It was a gathering. Yeah. Anyway, what was I gonna say too about that?
I'm in the club with that same shirt.
Speaking of heavyweights, we've talked about whether Opetaya can move up to heavyweight. People are saying, nah, he wants to unify, blah, blah, blah. We're going to get to the unification thing later because Dana White had something to say about that. But the way we're talking about, people criticize Opetaya for being unable to stop Brandon Glanton. And this is what Glanton, Carl sent me this, and apparently it is true. Glanton posted this on his Instagram. Check this out. This is in the aftermath of the Opetaya fight. Look at that. So Opetaya didn't stop him, but he ended up making him look.
And can I tell you something? On his Instagram post, his own fucking facial ID recognition on his phone didn't know who he was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he looks like one of them. If anyone remembers that movie, Bugs Life, where they got those wasps, his eyes look like those wasps out of that Bug Life movie.
Yeah, he does.
It's like you got an allergic reaction.
Cartoon thing. Yeah.
I know what he's allergic to. It's the fucking left and right hands.
No.
It's like he eats a bad pussy.
Yeah, that can happen, man. But it's he said something interesting. He said this is what boxing's all about. Yeah, upcoming boxers need to know they might have to go through this type of stuff in their careers, and it's true, man. I mean, so it's interesting. You look at the fight itself, and you go like, oh, he made it the distance. Opetaya can't crack, blah blah blah. Or maybe it's a case of Glanton being that tough. That he took all those big shots.
Yep.
And didn't
Well, Benavides Senior said that Opetaya still needs like 2-3 years more of experience.
No, he said 4 years. He said 4 years.
4 years. Okay,
he said 4 years. Because see, what happens in 4 years' time is Jai won't be at cruiserweight anymore.
Exactly.
So that's a safe space.
Obviously,
that's a place where you can take your toddlers. We call them safe. Parents call those places safe spaces. So that's going to be a safe space in 4 years, Benavides Senior. So he's going to keep him away from that hazardous place until it becomes a safe place.
Yeah,
what do you think about that comment? Pathetic.
I just don't know why we just can't get these fights, and I don't think he'll ever fight Opetaya, man. If I'm honest, I don't see it happening.
Not after saying that. Not after saying that.
Man. And the thing that got me, man, was as soon as fucking Benavides beat Yard, when they jammed a microphone in his mouth in November, he said he's fighting Zerto on Cinco de Mayo, which is like 6 months away. Like And Beterbiev was on the same card, and he pulled out with an injury.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even get a chance to fucking say, "Let's get it on, me and you for my belt." That's my belt you got, motherfucker. Beterbiev's ready for it.
He's ducking Beterbiev, and he's also ducking Jai Opetaya. You can safely say that now. He's ducking both of them.
Well,
I thought he was just ducking Beterbiev. Yeah, he is. He's trying to hold out. Even Dimitri Bivol. I don't know how bad his back spinal issue is. He's definitely for sure milking it out, waiting for that dude to get old. He lost both those fights, by the way. I don't care how his fan base thinks. Bivol lost both of those fights. He did not win neither one of them. He lost
I think
one round.
he won the first one. He should have won the first one, I think, and it was the opposite of the second one.
Look, I like Bivol, man. I don't hate Bivol. I like Bivol.
It sounds like you do a little bit.
No.
Yeah, I think you do.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Little
I
bit.
used to like him actually. I would say.
Oh, there you go.
Him was more like it, but not anymore. But I see what he's doing, and it took him 5 years to make the first fight. And
Exactly. That's what I hate
now
about
it's
that.
like, I got the W.
cocksucker.
I got the W, which you really didn't. You just got gifted the W. And I'm just gonna pretend my back is a serious problem.
You say he's pretending to be injured?
Man, you know what these people, bro, they might pretend. Like even with, for example, Arthur, right? I'm not saying Arthur is one of those guys, but he could be. The fact that he comes up with these injuries, we know, like maybe he's trying to get the drugs because he's old.
Come on.
Trying to get it's possible. Like I heard this from FUTV. I could see that being a possibility, but I don't believe that Arthur is a guy that ducks his opponents.
Well, if you heard it from Fu, then I'll take it into consideration. But
I don't think he is either, mate. And you know what? He came straight out after that injury, after that camp where he pulled it, because he was on the undercard of that Benavidez yard card. He was on the undercard of that, and he pulled out with injury. And straight after it, he said, I want to fight Benavidez, but he's fighting Zerto now. So I just, for the life of me, someone that wants to be a monster and doesn't want to do your own fucking work in your own weight division, you want to jump up and take this because you think you got an easier fucking fight up here with Zerto. Mate, I hope Zerto fucking gives him the work. I really do. I really hope
sadly, Zerto's not going to pull it off. But the thing is, even Bivol gives him problems, Beterbiev. But Bivol, the main reason why he's not showing his face is because of Beterbiev. If it was Benavidez, he'd probably be like, "Oh, my back is fine now." You know what I mean? It'd be
Okay. Now this is all speculation, right?
It's fun speculation.
Lost in his face. He was running the majority of the fights. In both fights, he was running more. Like we talk about Shakur.
Well, that's his
he's
style,
not the same as Shakur, but it's almost no. That's not his style.
No. Sorry, that's not his style. No. Okay, but fighting a guy like Beterbiev, like you gotta move a little bit.
You got to, but he also lost those rounds. He didn't win a majority of the rounds. He lost 8 rounds on one and 7 in the other one. So he lost 7 rounds on one and 8 in the other. And there's his fan base, man, to be like, dude, he won, bro. Like you see them boxing skills, bro. Like, oh my god.
Wait. Why do they sound like old guys from the South or something? Man, did you see Dimitri Bivol? But going back to Jai Opetaya,
Convention Center.
That's right. Going back to Jai Opetaya, apparently, okay, this dude is still obsessed with Undisputed. I think he's got to let that dream go. It's about time. Somebody's got to go up to him and tell him the bad news.
Really?
Because Dana White keeps saying, well,
maybe that's why they gave him that Ring magazine. But so listen, you're in a way undisputed. You're the lean. Let it go. Move up to heavyweight. Because I think that's what Zuffa wants.
I don't see how that's going to work with Zuffa and the sanctioning bodies, because Dana White I don't have the quote here, but what I wanted to get to is that they signed a deal now that their Zuffa events are going to be televised in the UK via Sky Sports, and they're going to actually be holding 5 UK events per year. That's kind of big, man, because they're trying to penetrate the UK market now. The corporate phallus.
Well, I'll tell you what they're going to do. This fight with Conor Benn and Regis Prograis is a little teaser for Conor Benn. See, Conor Benn's never been a champion, so it doesn't worry him to go and fight for another sanctioning body / promotional company. So he's got no issue going there. And what they'll do is he'll headline a card somewhere like Tottenham or the O2 Arena, or who knows, somewhere where they'll get 50, 60,000, and they'll put him in there with some American flick, some name. And they'll convince someone to get over there, and mate, they will fill a stadium. Zuffa will fill a stadium with Conor Benn.
Interesting.
That's the whole plan I can see for Zuffa in England. Same thing I can see him doing with Jai in Australia. they'll bring Jai to Australia, man, because UFC comes here 3 or 4 times a year.
Well, that's what Dana White was saying, that, look, we're going to get into this market. He says, when you talk about boxing, he says in that region, Sky Sports always been the home for legendary boxing fights. There's no bigger or better platform to showcase the best boxing in the UK. So then in another article, but I don't have it here with me for some reason, but he was talking about Opetaya. He goes, no, we're going to do our best to make these guys' dreams come true, meaning undisputed, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know how that's going to happen. I mean, now with DAZN having Top Rank, Queensberry, and Matchroom under one umbrella, it seems like they're really pulling out the big guns now, saying, all right, Zuffa, you want to go head-to-head? Let's go. Well, you know, they're...
Well, did you see the Dan Raphael tweet about the suspicious email that was going around all the promoters and sanctioning bodies about blackballing Zuffa?
Yes. So that's going to be, they're going to litigate that, right?
Correct. So that's why the IBF still to today have not stripped Jai Opetaya. He still is the IBF champion. Jai still holds that belt. They have not made a decision yet. So, mate, I think this will set the precedent. If Zuffa wins this argument and wins this, and Jai keeps this belt, I think this sets the precedent, because I know bitches ain't going over there until the IBF and Opetaya saga sorted out, because he's the IBF champion at 140. So
I believe Frank Warren's going to win that case, man.
Listen, he dodges
that
bullets.
one's not Frank Warren. That one's not Frank Warren.
Gobble, turkey, I'll shake is not going to fucking...
But wait. Like, I don't know if JC... I always forget. JC, is that Joe or Eric from Ringside Report? Shout out to them over at Ringside Report. I was listening to the last show, and they were talking... I think they were talking about, in regards to the Virgil Ortiz versus De La Hoya fiasco, I think that he said something about how come people don't bring up that case, you know, all the Ali Act defenders. Why don't they bring that case up when they talk about these fighters getting screwed over, blah, blah, blah. I think it was about that. But Mike, I think the same could apply to Jai Opetaya with the sanctioning bodies. Why isn't that unfair, what's going on with him with the IBF? And where are all these defenders of the Ali Act and all that? Like, wouldn't that apply in some way to what Opetaya is going through?
See, the problem they got is Jai did absolutely everything. He paid his fees up front. He did the IBF rehydration. So he only rehydrated, because it's 13 pounds you're allowed to rehydrate at cruiserweight. He rehydrated the 13 pounds. And he did everything by the IBF mandate and by the same way he's done for the 6 fights previous that he's fought under the IBF. Defended that belt 6 times. He's been stripped of it once before. He's had his jaw broken. He missed his nan's funeral. All for that fucking belt. He did all that. And you know what? If they strip him, I really don't give a fuck, man, because if I can be honest, man, the biggest criticism Jai Opetaya gets is his level of opposition he faces. And, mate, they're all IBF mandatories. So, you know what? If he can't get a big fight with the IBF, fuck the IBF, let that cunt go and go and chase this WBC. Because one thing I know about the president of the WBC is that cunt loves the colour of money. Woo! Loves it. He loves him. He loves him so that money. He'll invent belts to make some money.
Absolutely.
Like he's trying to do with Benavidez and Zerto. He's like, hang on, let me get in on this sanction and pick.
Yeah,
in on this.
So Carl's right. What Opetaya is doing, he's not doing anything wrong. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Who's doing underhanded sneaky shit is Zuffa, right? Since this Arab showed his face and his dirty little rat face on the scene.
Wait.
They knew. Look, they all knew. I was listening to the Pro Box podcast a couple days ago, and Paulie Malignaggi was talking about it, saying they all knew from the beginning who this Turkey Al-Sheikh was. He was a Trojan horse, but they're still taking the money at the time. They're like, yeah, we know he didn't try to screw us over. He said there's no one in boxing who didn't know what time it was with him, but they still took the money. So they let him do what he was trying to do, and they took his money, but they still kept it back in their head, like we're gonna have to link up and push him out of boxing, because what he tried to do. Frank Warren is suing Turkey Al-Sheikh right now because he said they had an exclusivity deal where anything that they do in the UK, he would have a part in, right? And now they're just completely cutting him out with Zuffa, saying, yeah, we're not working with you at all. And he said that they used his the information he has in his network, his connections, and they kind of stole it, and now they're using that, for their own ends, and that's like a breach of contract.
He's not a Trojan horse.
So shut the fuck up. I'm not done. So also, what Zupa did that this whole time that they had this guy Opetaya, you know how they sent that dude over there to face off with him and everything. The IBF sent him, and then out of nowhere they pulled him out. It's because what Zupa was doing the whole time is that they told him, hey, this belt is meaningless. It's a symbolic belt. It's like a trinket. It's like the BMF belt. It means nothing. Your belt's on the line here. Your belt's important, right? That's what they told him the whole time up until the last press conference when they said Zupa World Championship belt, right? So they're being misleading themselves. They're doing some shady shit, and they've been doing this since, like I said, since this fucking talent head showed his face on the scene. So
now
you know, look now Stone is gathering all the promoters like the Thanos gauntlet, the Thanos diamonds, and they're gonna push these fools out. They can't blackball them, and they will. You know what I'm saying? Legality. The fuck, we're talking boxing here. What the fuck y'all talking about?
Sorry, ma'am, I cut you off. I mean, I was trying to say something.
Go
ma'am.
ahead, miss.
Okay, ma'am. All right. As I was saying, yeah, he's not a horse. He's a whore, Trojan whore.
Oh,
you're making a mistake calling him a horse. He doesn't look like a horse anyway. He looks like a whore.
He's gonna get you guys. By the way, he's gonna get you. Fucking Silver's calling him a tauhe. You calling him a whore. I mean, he's gonna chop you up, man. That's all I'm saying.
But he ain't chopping shit up. He gotta chop his own dick off.
No,
chop off.
He's foreskin. Yeah, but go ahead. Yeah, what were you saying?
No, nothing. I'm just trying to add that up. That's a little extra, little.
Well,
I knew this dude was never to be trusted, and it's showing its face now. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I love? I love the fact that they all held his fucking hand at the start. Everyone was on his head.
That's what they did. That they should never.
They all held his hand.
Listen, man, Frank Warren ain't stupid, man. Frank Warren, you know, that guy has been in
none of them
business
are
for a very
stupid.
long time.
None of them are
No,
stupid.
I could see Eddie Hearn being a kind of a naive little bitch, but I don't see Frank Warren being that kind of guy. That's why he had it all prepped up. Okay, if you do this, I'm gonna sue you this way, and it's gonna mean this much, and it's gonna mean that, and I could win. I know the possibilities of me winning is gonna be enormous. Not only am I gonna benefit from you and you collaborating with you, I'm also gonna benefit suing you. So he's gonna take double whammy. Frank is a fucking. That's why I call him a jackal. That motherfucker's a jackle, bro.
A jackal or a jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
Yeah.
If you look at it, Eddie Hearn's the only silver spoon fed fucking promoter in there, mate. He's the only one that was brought up with a silver spoon in his fucking mouth. All the rest of these motherfuckers, man, they got good street cred, mate. Let's be honest. This is fucking cockroaches and fucking maggot fucking the people that you're dealing with in this. They're the lowest of the low. So you got to know how to hang with these guys, man. You got to know how to deal with dirtbags. And that's at the end of the day, boxing's boxing, and it's going to be there long after fucking Turkey's fucking held everyone's hand and dropped a couple of billion in there. Of course, it's going to still be around. But for the life of me, man, like I look at a guy like Jai. Like, I'm a huge fan, obviously, of Jai's. Eddie Hearn couldn't get him fucking one unification fight in 3 years, man. Couldn't get him one. So I went, fuck it. There's no use not going to Zuffa. Fuck it. Even with all the bad press, man. This cocksucker's got a bigger name now. His name is tenfold what it was fucking 3 months ago. Just for the fact of signing with these dudes and everyone saying, well, you're mad if you do that. Oh, he's going to get blackballed. Good news or bad news, man. It's all news for Jai. His fucking star's flying through the roof. I think it's great.
The thing with Eddie is he always has a problem with either Frank Warren or Oscar. I don't know about with Bob Arum. I don't think he has. Does he have problems with Bob Arum?
He's got. I mean, everyone's got problems with everybody, but now they're going to be
competitors.
Yeah, but that's the thing; they're under the same umbrella now, and they got a common enemy. So nothing unites better or more efficiently than a common enemy. So these people are gonna.
Hey, you know what? Sorry to cut you off. If you look at the Virgil Ortiz, the Rick Meridian, and all the contract saga with there. Mate, Eddie Hearn was in fucking Rick Meridian's ear, wanting to do business with Virgil behind Oscar's back.
That's right.
That's a fucking fake move right there. Do you think Eddie Hearn didn't know what the fucking ins and outs of that contract were with Virgil?
Apparently he did.
He would have known.
Yeah, apparently somebody said that.
Of course he.
Yeah, they were sending out details to another promoter or something. I forget exactly what was going on, but there was some chicanery.
Well, there was a rumor is there was a $16 million offer to Virgil for a 3-fight deal. 3-fight deal was $16 million, and his current contract with fucking Oscar is $1.5 million. $2 million if he gets a belt. Contract extension if he gets a belt. All this shit. I read right into it, man. I've looked into the Virgil Ortiz case. But, man, there's, you know, in the order of negotiations, you have to have an offer to do something behind your own promoter's back. So Eddie Hearn's no fucking saint in any of this, mate. And we can go across the list with all these promoters and do this shit, man. Like Frank Warren pulling fucking Daniel Dubois out of the Joseph Parker fight 2 days before the fight. Frank Warren pulled him out because he knew the fucking Usyk rematch was coming. He said, no, we can't risk this. We can't risk this against a dude like Joe Parker. And what did we hear for a month after fucking Dubois ducked him? Radio style.
But the thing is that to his credit, Daniel Dubois has probably got 3 title shots already in a row. I mean, like, not in a row, but like he got 3 title shots, bro. Like, he had one with AJ, he had 2 with Usyk. Oh, he's getting another one. That's 4. 4 title shots.
Joseph Parker's there. Joseph Parker beat Zhang and Wilder.
Yeah, I know, but I know Parker got shafted, but the thing is, that fool is a great promoter, man. If you ever had a promoter, if you had to pick one from all these scumbags, that's the best one. I mean, Yard also got multiple title shots. Yard got one with Ederbev.
Kovalev before that.
Kovalev, yeah, and he got another one with the last one. What was it?
Benavides, because Benavides does have he's got a strap there, one of those paper straps. But hey,
that guy's a good promoter.
Well, I tell you what, man. Real quick here, because also on the Ring magazine there, Devin Haney was giving Opetaya props. I don't know if he's giving him props. I don't know if that means he wants to fight him or not fight him. But he says, I knew he was good, but I didn't know he was that good. He turned all of us into believers. Opetaya can give Stevenson, talking about Shakur Stevenson, that type of fight with the type of style he brought in the Cruz fight. He's a power boxer, has a lot of experience, but I don't think he can get Shakur out of a rhythm. So all these people like to call him Shakur. But yeah, so he was giving him his props. Now, interestingly enough, I don't know what Devin Haney was going on about with Daniel Cormier, who's a UFC guy known for his wrestling. So Devin Haney said something along the lines of, hey, I would like to have Cormier teach me how to wrestle. And then somebody replied, you don't need him. You already know how from all the clinching you do. So people taking shots at Devin Haney online. Devin Haney, his exact words were, I want Daniel Cormier to teach me to wrestle. He's got the necessary skills down to a pad right now, though. He doesn't need to train with Cormier anymore, I don't think. So this guy's correcting that. The other thing I wanted to bring up is, what else did I have here? Real quick. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out.
I think Devin Haney's working with Khabib's team.
Oh, yeah. I think he's been secretly working with it for the past 6-7 years.
Yep.
Now, Benavides was on the Ring Magazine podcast earlier today, and then he's just been saying the same thing he's been saying for the last 5 days, because he's going on a bit of a podcast tour there, giving interviews, and he had this to say. He said, I've been telling you guys, I want to get Bivol and then Beterbiev. Those are the 2 fights I want for myself, and I know all the world of boxing wants to see. Then he says, so right now that I can make 175 comfortably, even though he didn't look all that comfortable in the build to the Yard fight, but I feel like we got to make that happen first. We got this fight. We're going to get these belts first, and we're going to go back down and then going to come back up. Because like I said...
Oh my God, that sounds so fucking stupid, bro.
I already had the cards I wanted to play. I want to take care of that first. By the way, have you guys noticed that all the people that were on Team Benavides, when there was a potential, the possibility of a Canelo fight, now all of a sudden they don't really talk about Benavides that much now that Canelo lost. It's almost like he just...
Yeah, they don't care about it.
I mean, I see some people still wanting that fight. I see David Benavidez still wants that fight. He's still going around saying, oh, Canelo's ducking me. You guys got to make that fight happen. In another podcast, I heard him talking about, he said all the money he made from 2020 to 2025, he blew through all of it.
Yeah.
And he's basically broke again. So he's looking for fights, trying to make money. So, of course, he's still trying to suckle off the teats of the ginger boy. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he's still trying to make money off him.
He was trying to suckle off the tits. But it's... by the way, how do you blow... I mean, I know he wasn't exactly making 10 mil per fight, but I mean, he was making good money on Showtime. How do you blow that through that much money?
Do you see who he's with? Do you see that lady he's with? Do you remember how he met his wife, BJ?
Oh,
do you remember
the
how he met his wife?
And the cheesecake, right? Or what was it?
No, he met her at an ATM.
Oh, okay, right. Oh, geez. Oh, come on.
He was getting money out the ATM, and he looks up and she's right there smiling at him. So
It's probably because of the teeth.
wondering where his money went.
Fake ass teeth, probably. That's what it is. You put a lot of money on that.
Well, also, if you've got I'm not saying he has this. I'm not saying he has this, but
cocaine is not cheap either, BDA.
what's that?
Cocaine is not cheap.
That's what I was gonna say. If you have a habit, a noxious, nefarious habit, could end up accumulating. Yeah,
booger sugar.
Yeah, that's weird, man. That's weird. That
Well,
he
look,
said
the
that.
best thing that happened was that he never got the Canelo fight. I think
Why is
he's because he's made a lot of money off of Canelo's name fighting, opponents that he could have beat.
You know what's
I think
crazy?
At the
Frank,
time, it was definitely I think it was a 50-50 fight about the height of it. Maybe 2 years ago, we were always arguing about it. Now, obviously, it favors Benavidez, but I mean, he's made a way bigger name off of Canelo's name, not having fought him, and he might have lost that. Now, where would he be? So that's probably the best thing that could have happened to him.
See, Frank's always looking at the... Yes.
Oh, just real quick, though, I think, but if he's still mentioning Canelo, I think because he thinks he's gonna get that fan
money.
base. Well, no, the fan base, the support. That
He's already going after Mexican fan base by fighting Zurdo Ramirez. He's already taken steps in that direction. What I think I like David Benavidez. I only didn't like him against Canelo, right? I only didn't like that fight. Just like I don't like Zurdo versus Benavidez. Y'all want to see them kill each other. Y'all love to see Mexicans kill each other, and I'm sick of that shit. But anyways, I like Benavidez, right? But up until now, the shit he's saying and the shit he's doing, I don't think it's smart. I think it's gonna hurt his career and not help him. Jumping up and down like that, and then saying he knows that everybody wants to see him fight Bevo and Beater Beef, then just do that, bro. Just do that. You'll build a fan base off of those fights. He doesn't need Zurdo. Zurdo doesn't even have a fan base, does he?
Not really, no.
You know what's crazy? That after Crawford beat Canelo, instead of calling Crawford out, he said, "Oh no, let Crawford do his own thing." You're like, what the?
Yeah,
fuck?
what the, it's like when Gary Anton Russell beat Hirioka, and they asked him about Shakur's teams. He goes, "Nah, man, Shakur doing his own thing. I gotta work my way up." Like, why do you gotta work my way up? You're already a veteran at this point. Well, not a veteran, but you're a contender at this point. Why? It's weird. Some of these dudes, it's weird the way they move. I tell you what, though, I like Benavidez' style. I like the fact that he goes and gets it. Like Sober said, I want to watch him fight. That the type of people I don't want to watch are the ones who are trying to be something they're not, and that is Diego Pacheco. So Frank Bay just gave me the clip here. This is from Los Chingones Boxing, or Los Tres Chingones Boxing. I haven't seen it, but allegedly this is where
it's in the middle.
It's in the middle
You
of
have
the.
to go to the middle.
Okay. So
The short. Yeah.
Okay, so
I
so
couldn't find the actual from the source.
they're not interviewing him. I thought they were interviewing him, but this is from somewhere else. You're saying
No.
But how
Yes,
do we
it's
know
the
this clip is
interview he
real? Though?
did.
But how do we know this clip
It's
is real
real.
for Pacheco?
It's on Power 106.
Okay.
The full video is up. You'd have to go to Power 106.
I'm gonna look it up, man, because but let's see if this is them. This is Los Tres Chingones listening to the Diego Pacheco's comments.
All right. This is the only video I was able to find. So let's, I don't know why they have it like this, but let's go ahead. Let's hear it out.
Yeah, wait, the face is blurred, by the way, in that Power 105 or something. It looks like one of those mafia, like the ex-mafioso guy going on camera and they blur the face so that nobody knows who he is. But anyway, let's see what he has to say.
Everyone loves the guys born in Mexico. Like, they just love them. I don't know why. It's like they can fight, but they don't have that much skill. Like I'd say.
Oh damn, that's crazy.
Pacheco,
The
no.
only guy I can say who has a lot of skill born in Mexico is Canelo. Chavez will get beat up by Mayweather. Skill. Like when you fight a guy who got
Chavez was getting beat up by Mayweather. Is that what he said?
The only guy I can say who has a lot of skill born in Mexico is Canelo. Chavez will get beat up by Mayweather.
I mean, this dude really doesn't know. I mean, does he even watch boxing? Those are the only two names.
I don't even think he watched the Eric Morales fight.
I mean,
I don't think you watched it at all. I think
Marquez.
just saying shit.
There was more to the interview. He was saying that when he was in Mexico, he was kicking all their asses. That's what he's trying to say.
No fucking way.
There's more. Yeah, it's it's like 15 minutes, I think. And the host, they're like, no, don't say this. They're trying to tell him, but he's just like, nah, the Mexicans, I was kicking their ass. And when I came to America, that's when I got challenged.
Yo, does this dude, first of all, what gym did he go to? And number one, Where are these skills that he these impressive skills when he fights? Because whenever he fights, he stings the joint out. I mean, he barely beat that Proto and Billy the last time. He got his ass dropped.
He kind of sounds like Southpaw Lefty.
Oh, God. You gotta go after Southpaw. He's not even here, man. No, but I mean, look, listen. Pacheco in the beginning was looking good, but now it's been fight after fight where he's not looking that good. First of all, number two, he brought up Chavez and Canelo. First of all, you ask any casual boxing fan, hey, what Mexican who are some of the Mexican boxers? That's who they'll say, Canelo and Chavez. Maybe Salvador Sanchez, because so many people have talked about him. You know, there's a clip of Roy Jones saying that was his favorite fighter growing up. But, you know, when you talk about fighters who don't have skill, again, it takes skill to be able to be a come-forward fighter, opening yourself up in the line of danger, taking the first step, making the first move, and still coming out on top for years and years and years and winning titles. So, first of all, let's put aside the guys who actually could box from long range. Like you said, Morales, Barrera, Salvador Sanchez, Miguel Canto, who's one of the best defensive fighters of all time. El Tite de Vázquez a couple of years ago was boring people up. Ray Vargas was also boring people. That's why he didn't have any fans. Who else was I talking about? Rafael Marquez was also, even though he could crack, he was trying to be too much like his brother and people would boo him. Juan Manuel Marquez was boring for a while there. In between 99 and 2005, there were some fights where he was entertaining, and then other fights he would just stink the joint out. It had nothing to do because they didn't have skill. Maybe that's the other problem. They had too much skill. They didn't really know how to go forward. But you guys,
I'm gonna be honest, BJ.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest, BJ. I think Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. would 100% beat up Floyd.
Well, I mean, it's not. But it's not even about. We don't even have to go there. We don't even have to go into that mythical matchup, Gypsy. But it's Ruben Olivares, Carlos Zarate, Vicente Salivar. All these dudes were top notch. They're in there in the top, if not the top 10, but at least the top 15 or top 20 of all time in most of their divisions. So when you talk to Diego Pacheco, he goes
all the way through their careers.
What's that?
And fought killers the whole way through their careers.
Exactly. So for this guy to say they don't have a lot of skills, I think I can excuse his comments if he would admit that, I don't know that much about Mexican boxers. But something tells me he's not going to go there. But anyway, listen, at the end of the day, that's his opinion. He's got a right to his opinion. But it's just, I'm just interested that he talks about how they don't have a lot of skills, and yet with his, he doesn't know what to be. He doesn't know whether he wants to be a slickster or a come forward fighter, and he doesn't do either of those things all that well.
He's a fake Mexican.
Well, I don't know about
Well,
that.
he's saying that because
a Mexican small hat, probably.
Okay, why does Gypsy always have to? Gypsy always has to take it there.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's just the fact that he's been criticized for not being an aggressive boxer, not being an exciting boxer. So now he's saying, "Oh well, that style is
rudimentary or
low skill,
primitive."
basically rudimentary." Yeah,
that's a good
That's
point,
what he's
man.
trying to say.
I think you're right. That he's trying to justify.
I don't want to fight in a rudiment. Why would I want to fight in a Mexican style? Why would I want to fight in a rudimentary way?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's saying.
Like,
He's just too
he's
scared.
like those.
He's scared to fight.
He's like those Persians that pretend to be Persian, but they're not really Persian over here, and they're all about U.S. kicking ass. He's like one of those Persians. They're not really Persians. They just pretend to be Persians. He's similar to that. Like that's what he is.
Well, they're
for
waving
Mexico.
for another flag. I don't white and blue flag. I don't know why.
Why are you guys getting? Come on, what's going on here?
Okay, forget about politics.
Yeah.
Let's leave it.
Speaking of people who want, yes.
Oh no, just real quick with the, you mentioned Chavez, but now I'm saying this to the chat and the people listening. There's plenty of footage of Chavez training and warming up. And he can do all the things like Ali would do, that Pernell Whitaker could do, like dancing on one foot, doing all these tricks in the ring. He could have chose to fight that way.
Whoa.
And it's
Dancing.
just the skill is the mentality that you can fight either or. You can do it all. That's the skill. And he just wanted to entertain the fans. So it's not like he couldn't have done those things. There's plenty of footage of him doing those things in the ring.
Frank, to your point.
We were watching Floyd versus Pacquiao like 2 days ago, and off the air. And there's a moment in the fight where Pacquiao's on the back foot just for a little bit. And he's getting away from Floyd, moving even better than Floyd. Like, he could have tried to box like that, just on the back foot, because his footwork is that good. But then he reverted back to, he's not. He wants to win a fight. He wants to, put some damage, be an aggressive boxer. But my point is that he can actually move around if he wanted to, but he just didn't, because you know, for some people, that's
mean,
not
Only
really boxing.
pussies fight like that. That's why.
We don't have
Exactly.
to go too back. Virgil Ortiz got phenomenal skills, man. People do just because he got dropped 2 times and he actually won almost every single round against that Ukrainian guy, it doesn't mean uh anything. He can fight backwards, he can fight forwards. He's very he got a lot of tricks going forward. He got a bunch of tricks going backwards as well. Not as much going backwards as much as he got going forwards, because that's his style. He likes going forward instead of going on being on his back foot. Virgil is a talented dude, but apparently, you know, he only knows a few dudes that are, you know, like Canelo. That's it. It's all he knows.
Yeah, well,
Canelo's
that's
the only
again,
guy.
that's his problem. It's not that's not the reality, right? It's his problem. He doesn't know anything else. It doesn't seem like he knows anything beyond Canelo or Chavez, because otherwise he would have mentioned the names we mentioned. Second of all, the other thing I wanted to mention is, we've seen guys like Ryan Garcia when he fought Devin Haney. There's clips, and I showed those in the video I did. There's a spot where he's actually back foot bitching it against Haney, and Haney's swinging and flailing wildly into the wind, and he's looking the way Norman looked against him. So Ryan Garcia could have fought the whole fight that way. Isaac Cruz against Lamont Roach, he did the same thing. And I saw Navarrete versus Valdez. I was rewatching the fight earlier today, and there were spots where Navarrete was doing that to Valdez. He could have back foot bitched and just tap and run, but no, he wanted to hurt Valdez because that's his style. And also to Frank's point about Chavez, Emmanuel Stewart is on the record because remember he trained Chavez for I believe it was a Melodic Taylor rematch and maybe another fight, but he trained him for a while. And he made him spar with a couple of the Kronk people, and he told Chavez like, "Wow," because he saw Chavez boxing off the back foot. He says, "Wow, you got great skills off the back foot. Why don't you box that way more?" He goes, "Have you seen the guys I fight?" He said, like Whitaker and well, he hadn't fought Whitaker yet, but I think so. I don't think he had fought Whitaker. Anyway, I'm getting the titles. Like I said, like Camacho and all those. I can't fight those guys off the back foot. I have to go after them. And interestingly enough, if you watch Chavez versus Rocky Logridge. Allegedly Chavez hurt one of his hands and he had to fight off the back foot and he outboxed Rocky Logridge. Now, if you go to the comment section, you'll hear some people say, "No, Rocky Logridge got robbed." Watch the fight and decide for yourselves. But what I'm saying is he could have boxed off the back foot too, Chavez could have. But he didn't, because it's much more fun if you can do it, if you got the skills to do it, to go after somebody and break him down.
The courage
Chavez also fought the Thunder from Down Under, Costa Zoo. Who was absolutely tearing apart the division. Chavez fought Costa Zoo when he was a fucking grandfather.
Yeah. That should never happen.
Yeah, no,
that fight never should have happened.
That shouldn't have happened. Yeah.
Bigger set of balls than any motherfucker fighting today. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I proudly wear that man's t-shirts, man. He's a fucking ATG.
I got underwear with Chavez. No, I'm kidding. No, but I'm kidding.
If you got the underwear, send the picture.
Come on, Gypsy. What? Wearing it. He's like wearing it.
EDA with the recent photo of his face on the crotch, right?
A recent photo.
Yeah, the werewolf face.
Exactly. Yeah, man. But I was going to say that before we go, because we're running out of time here, Fundora, I'm looking for, you guys were saying that you're really looking forward to Wardley versus Dubois. I'm looking forward to it too, but for some reason, you guys are going to think I'm crazy. I'm looking forward to Fundora versus Thurman. For some Thurman's been, by the way.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I don't know if you're being sarcastic.
Some people think that if Thurman lands a big shot, he can take him out. I'm like,
no, you know why I think Thurman. Look, I think Thurman has a shot, not because I'm a fan of Thurman. I'm really not. I mean, I like how he fights sometimes, but I'm not a fan. Like his prior fights, like when he fought like against Sean Porter. I'm gonna tell you why he has. Like you saw what happened with Josh Kelly and what's that guy's name? The Bakram. He just moving around, outpointing him and just moving around. He has a shot. Yeah, he can do that. And if he can do that and be on point for 12 rounds, he can pull it off. It's not too far to imagine. He's got better movement, but he is the shorter guy with the shorter reach. So to think that he has absolutely no chance, it's kind of hard to say that now, because there are people that usually do get their shit right, and they're saying that Thurman has a solid chance. They probably put money on Thurman to probably pull it off. So
yeah. So look, I know I'm very deadpan. I know I'm very deadpan with my deliveries, but I have been waiting for Keith Thurman to get his ass whooped for a long time. Ever since 2017, when Pacquiao stunned him and he derailed his career, He's been ducking and dodging ass whooping damn near a decade. It's 2026. Why haven't you had a fight? Why haven't you had a real
You don't
fight
think he was
since then,
injured?
bro? He never fought Crawford.
You-
He never fought what's his name? Errol Spence. He never this dude never fought nobody. He fought 140 pounders and Sean Porter almost beat him. And he was supposed to fight Tim Tszyu. They ruined Tim Tszyu's career, promising him a fucking Thurman fight. He even went to Australia and fought a bum in Australia because they thought he was gonna sign to fight Tim Tszyu next. He didn't fucking do it. And you know what I'm saying? Like I just don't like anything he's been doing the last couple of years. He's been on his little peace pipe. He married some Indian bitch, and I guess that made him go soft or whatever. He used to be that guy that said, "You better not duck me, son." He was real brave saying that to Paulie Malignaggi, right? But where the fuck you been at? Where the fuck you been at for 9 years, bro? You know, and now it's the time has come. The time is reckoning. The time has come, buddy. Now you're gonna get it worse. You know, the cucks get it first, and they get it worse. You're next, Thurman.
The cucks get it first, and they get it worse. That's
Fucking Fundora's gonna uppercut him right up his ass, and he's working like a sock puppet. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be the end of it. That's gonna be the end of sometime Thurman. You know what I'm saying?
Sobers is doing it a cappella.
I think Thurman is waiting and contemplating when he's gonna have his hair transplant.
Come on, man. What's going on here?
Yeah,
was that necessary?
What it is.
Was that necessary?
I mean, you're showing it. It's necessary because you're showing a picture over there. I mean, see all that bald spot.
I'm showing a picture of him training, and immediately you focus on the.
I mean, I see a lot of people punching, but I mean, that hair that's missing is more noticeable than anything else. I mean, it's almost like he's becoming Miller.
All right, well, listen.
A lot of the bad shit that happened to Tim Tszyu. A lot of the bad shit that happened to Tim Tszyu is because he was thinking that he was chasing Thurman, thinking he was going to get that fight, and he never did. He ended up fighting who? Fundora, who kind of fucked him up and derailed his career in a way.
Right.
Now it's your turn, Thurman. Now you gotta fight. Now you gotta fight, bitch.
It'd be great to see his ass
Ain't no
get kicked
Barrios.
for the second time. You know, what I mean, it'd be awesome. Maybe I should be pretty worse at it the second time if Fundora actually connects.
I just, for the life of me, the man's had 8 minutes of pro boxing in the last 4 years.
That's true. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's significant, man.
8 minutes. That's talk about activity. Whoa.
That's a significant factor. Think about this, Carl.
Some all-time great type shit.
Think about this, Carl. The last time he fought a major, or not a major, but at least a world-class opponent or thereabouts, was Mario Barrios. It was January 2022. What was going on in 2022? What was different? Canelo hadn't lost to Bivol yet. Crawford hadn't beaten Spence yet. Inoue hadn't even moved up to bantamweight yet. I mean, it was a completely different world 4 years ago. That's the last time.
Oh, yeah.
And then since then, like Sobers pointed out, he fought Jarvis over in Australia, and that's it.
Yep.
Like, how is he gonna? Yep. That's why I'm very curious. I'm looking forward to this fight for a number of reasons. One, usually this doesn't work on me, but it's working. Thurman's doing so much talking, so now it's like Sober said, all right, let's see what you get. Number two, that X factor, and number three, Fundora has been. The way he looked against Tim Tszyu in the rematch, this guy looks like he's finally using his long range, his distance, his height. Will Thurman be able to pull anything off? And like Gypsy was saying, though, we saw what Kelly was able to do to Murtazaliev. Could we be seeing something similar with Keith Thurman's footwork? Is he gonna hypnotize Fundora? Because Fundora has been fighting guys usually that stay in front of him. Now he's finding a guy who can move around and glide around the ring. Even though he might not have the legs anymore, we'll see on 2 weeks from now or whenever that is. But yeah, so that's why I'm intrigued about this fight. By the way, Fundora said he's looking forward to fighting Virgil Ortiz. Again, he's overlooking Keith Thurman, not a good sign. But he says he would like to fight Virgil Ortiz on the Canelo undercard this September for the Ring Magazine Championship. That's a good fight.
That would be nice. That's a great fight.
Timothy Bradley said something about Fundora being blind at a certain distance. I don't know how much of that shit is true. Like he has visual issues, and that apparently his homeboy Thurman would take advantage of that shit.
He's his homeboy Thurman. Are they really friends?
He's always. I mean, he's always about fucking protecting the culture.
I can't stand that fucking dude, man. I can't stand that cock.
I know he's always like that, bro. Like he said like, hey Thurman, bro, you know that his eyes, it's kind of like wide apart from each other. Oh, if you're in a certain distance, he can't see you, bro. He's blind. I think that's what he was doing.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that because there was another clip. I don't have it here, but Thurman was on Najee's Cigar Talk, and he was saying that Boots, because the guy said people say that Boots is the boogeyman. Do you agree with that? And Thurman was like, "Nah, he ain't done nothing. Who has he beaten? Who has he beaten at 154? Not nobody like Keith Thurman. Guarantee you that." And anyway, he was saying that, so he's not really he's not. He didn't seem to be playing up the culture then. And by the way, Keith Thurman is very light skinned. I don't even know if they let him in the culture, or if they do, maybe they keep calling him like light skinned motherfucker. So you know what I mean? Like maybe they try to put him down or something. Maybe they call him bueno.
He's milk chocolate. He's not the dark chocolate.
Exactly.
He's
yeah.
milk chocolate.
He looks like a Puerto Rican. I mean, I think maybe him and Shakur are probably from the same.
He does look kind of Puerto Rican, doesn't he? Yeah, it's true. Like Dominican, Puerto Rican-y a little bit.
Oh shit! He has a gap tooth as well.
All right. What the fuck? Gypsy, where are you going with this, man? But real quick,
I don't know. I'm trying to connect.
the other thing is, Thurman said he believes a win over Fundora solidifies a spot in the Hall of Fame for him. Reserves a spot in the Hall of Fame. And I tell you what, Chief and I have been talking about this for years, and I've been mentioning it for years too, rather on the podcast, along with Chief. The International Boxing Hall of Fame standards are so low now. Would you guys be surprised if Thurman does beat Fundora? Does he make it in there?
Yeah, of course he does. If Deontay Wilder gets in the fucking Hall of Fame, he's a walk-in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I
don't think Deontay Wilder's Hall of Fame worthy. I don't. The only time he stepped up, he fucking got smoked.
Mm-hmm.
3 times.
I agree, man.
I don't rate that dude. I think that's what these sanctioning bodies, man. Like, they protected that cocksucker for so long. That's what I'm saying. So if Jai Opetaya from Gold Coast Convention Center, if he can't get the fucking fight with the WBC champion Noah Mikhailian, he's just got to go to heavyweight. That's all there is to it.
You know what they're going to say, Carl, with Deontay Wilder? It's going to be based off the 10 title defenses or however many he got. And
that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. And who was his best win? Luis Ortiz?
Luis Ortiz, yeah. The guy, that's why I pissed somebody off. I pissed somebody off, incidentally, back in 2022. But yeah, because I said that Andy Ruiz actually had a better resume than Deontay Wilder, because
of course he does.
He had the Ortiz win, which is Deontay Wilder's best win, and on top of that, he's got a win over AJ. So that's better, a whole lot better.
Yeah. He's got a close loss to Joseph Parker, man. People say Parker lost that fight.
That's right.
Very close fight, man. Like, fuck. Look at his level of opposition he's fought, mate. That's hands down a better resume. No comparison. It's these title defenses that are going to get him in there. That's what it is.
I mean, think about it. I've said it before. Yes.
Yeah, say whatever you want, but Luis Ortiz was a threat.
All right. Carl, what were you going to say? Hold on. Let Carl finish. Let Carl finish.
One guy. Okay.
But I just think, man, all of these sanctioning bodies these days, man, I think they all fucking suck. I don't rate any of these sanctioning bodies. I don't think, like if you look at the IBF, all Opetaya cops his criticism for his level of opposition for facing Mandos because no one wants to unify with him. Man, if he can't get that strap, if they can't throw some money at Mauricio Suleiman and get a fucking gold glove necklace for the champion, man, Jai's just got to move up to heavyweight. And that's the only way he's going to get fight.
You're right. You're absolutely correct, man. Gypsy, what were you going to say? And then I'll say one last thing. Well, unless somebody else has something to say, and then we got to move on here. But yeah, Gypsy, go ahead.
I mean, his resume isn't better than Andy Ruiz's, but he does have one win that, Luis Ortiz is still not a bad win. And that's the only thing that matters. That's the only win he actually is valuable. But
does that get him into the Hall of Fame, bro? Does that get him into the Hall of Fame?
No. But then again, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. It just doesn't. But what they're gonna go by is by his knockout percentage and how many people that he knocked out.
That's right.
Some of them were obviously tomato cans. Some of them were mediocre level. Some were tomato cans. Like I don't think Chris Arreola is a tomato can. I think he's mediocre. He's mid level, and he knocked him out. He's gonna go off of that, and then they're gonna say, he had 10 defenses against who knows, like nobody's realistically, except for the Tyson Fury and Luis Ortiz. That's it. I mean, That's just the risk. But it's a Hall of Fame, man. It's not about achievements. It's not Hall of Achievements. It's Hall
That's
of Fame.
not anymore. Yeah, not anymore. That's what I was gonna say. Ignemar Johansson's in there. Gaddy's in there. Vinny Paz, Ienza is in the Hall of Fame. So I mean, it's no longer the Hall of Fame. It's the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's the Hall of what did you call it? It's the Hall of somebody.
It's not Hall of Achievements. It's Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly. It's fame.
It's always been, yeah.
Yeah, there you go, man. So that's what it is there. But listen, we do have to move on. We do have to go here, though. But shout out to all of you guys. Carl, Gypsy, Sobers was here earlier. Bucho, Frank Gay. Shout out to Boxing with Frank Bay. Hollywood Frank Bay.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Thank you. Thank you guys
Good
for being
show. Thanks for having me, man.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you, man. Take care, you guys. Don't forget to check out Gypsy's, Sobers' channel. Boxing with Never Sobers. That's Sobers with a Z at the end, Never Sobers. And Frank Bay's channel, Boxing with Frank Bay. Shout out to Frank for jumping in. Always appreciate his help. And Gypsy, same to you. And Bucho, of course, a co-host here and co-creator of this channel. And shout out to all of you guys out there. We'll try to be back as soon as possible. Chief and I are cooking up another historical show. Just got to confer with him, and we'll try to put it on as soon as possible. Shout out to Skull Kid, Bernie Vola, Rafael Garza. Shout out to Rafael Garza, one of the initiated. Grim Reaper, Reverend Pickles, Jaime Raiden, ZJK. Who was here? Manuel, More BDC, Technique, B Wayne, Johnny Blaze. If I forgot anybody, it's because we do have to go, but shout out to all of you guys. Really appreciate it. Rooster Tiger Karate, Earl Stevens. Shout out to Earl. And Anthony Rodriguez, Sergeant, Blunt Effect, Reverend Pickles. Like I said, if I forget anybody, it's because we do have to go. No, I don't have to go eat right now, Frank, if that's what you're wondering. I ate a couple of hours ago and I'm good now, but we do have to go. But shout out to all of you guys for joining us. Really